Search Locked On Blue Jays.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The battle for European soccer supremacy has reached the knockout stage, and all the drama of the Euros is on SiriusXM.
Oh my goodness, what a story!
Every match is now win or go home, and they can all be heard on Fox Sports Channel 83.
That is sensational!
Before and after the matches, hear what the experts are saying on SiriusXM FC 157.
They are proven winners right now.
No one is covering Euro 2024 like SiriusXM. Listen in the car or on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Your home for free agency is NBA Radio. We're breaking down all the transactions all week long on Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Field, way back, way gone!
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time!
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bombers. The Blue Jays start a pivotal 8-game homestand today with two competitive teams on the other side. Toronto plays 4 against the New York Yankees starting tonight before the Houston Astros head here as well. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer tonight. Stephen Coyle and Tristan Marcagiani are our technical directors. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Collingwood and Orangeville. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. After snapping the 7-game losing streak, Toronto tries to win its first series in over 10 days. To do that, the Blue Jays need Jose Berrios to get off to a strong start against a Yankees lineup that features the duo of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. First pitch is on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
When Blue Jays starter Kevin Gossman is on the mound, you hear a lot of pops at Rogers Center. The pop of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt. The pop of the crowd as they cheer on another Gossman strikeout. But most importantly for Goss, the pop of his bubble gum.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the splitter again. One of the best at his craft.
Gossman loves his gum. So be one of the first 15,000 fans on Wednesday, July 3rd and get your Kevin Gossman bubblegum bobblehead. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
Baseball fans, no matter who your team is, the Believe Podcast Network has you covered. Every team, every topic, everywhere. The most passionate fans and the most knowledgeable former players bring you the in-depth analysis you crave with podcasts dedicated to your team and your team only. Search Believe right now on the SiriusXM app and download your team's podcast today. That's BLEAV. Every team, everywhere.
Good to see you guys back at training camp.
The 2024 NFL Radio Training Camp Tour is coming right here on Channel 88 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
We've obviously put ourselves into a tough spot over the last 7 days. 10 days ago, we were feeling like there was positive momentum, and that has gone away. So At this point, because we've put ourselves into a tough spot, we really need to, at a day at a time and one pitch at a time, get things turned around to be in a position to buy. Having said that, that's where we're focused. We're focused on improvement. We're focused on getting better. The fact that we are in this position squarely lies with me. I'm accountable for that, and all of our energy and focus is on just improvement and getting better with the group that's here.
That was Blue Jays general manager Ross Atkins, who spoke before today's game about the Blue Jays needing to get things going in the right direction. Thanks so much for joining us. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, this is about as pivotal as it gets, this 8-game homestand against two good teams in the Yankees and Astros.
Yeah, it's a pivotal first series against the New York Yankees, but the Yankees are 2-8 in their last 10. They're missing Giancarlo Stanton. They're missing Anthony Rizzo. DJ LeMahieu is hitting 178 this season. So if the Blue Jays were ever going to get some wins against a powerful New York Yankees team, this is the time to do it.
The Blue Jays and Yankees are about to get started. Before we get underway, let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. You can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19-plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. The Yankees still atop the division. The Orioles have gone through it a little bit as well. So New York's 52-30 record leads the AL East. Baltimore at 50-30 in second. Boston Red Sox in third, 43-37. Tampa Bay Rays in fourth, 40-41. And the Blue Jays in fifth, 36-43. Lineup cards being handed in right now. Chris, first, who is in the lineup for Aaron Boone's New York Yankees?
Well, leading off for those Yankees and playing shortstop is Anthony Volpe. In right field batting second will be Juan Soto. DHing with his 30 homers is Aaron Judge. He'll bat third. Cleaning up and playing left field is Alex Verdugo. Ben Rice will play first and bat fifth. At second base, hitting sixth, is Jahmai Jones. Austin Wells will do the catching and hit seventh. At third, batting eighth is Oswaldo Cabrera. And batting ninth is Trent Grisham. He'll be in center field. On the mound is lefty Carlos Rodon. And for the Jays, leading off and playing shortstop is Bo Bichette. At second base, batting second is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will play first and hit third. In the cleanup spot and DHing will be Justin Turner. George Springer will play right field and bat fifth. In left field, batting sixth is Davis Schneider. Dalton Varsho is in center field. He'll bat seventh. Behind the plate, batting eighth, is Alejandro Kirk. And batting ninth is Ernie Clement. He'll be at third base. On the mound is righty Jose Berrios.
Puerto Rican right-hander about to make his 17th start of the season. Also on the field, the umpires today, Jeremy Rehack behind the plate. Clint Vondrak at first base, DJ Rayburn, the crew chief, at second, Tom Hanahan at third. For the righty Berrios, who stands 6 feet tall, 30 years old in his 9th season, he's 6-6 on the year, a 3.43 earned run average. It has been one of the better years of Jose Berrios' career, but recently the starts have been tailing in the wrong direction. 5 starts ago, he gives up 1 run. 4 starts ago, he gives up 2. 3 starts ago, 3. 2 starts ago, 4 runs, and last start he gives up 5.
Yeah, it's been a little bit up and down for Jose Berrios, and that gradual increase in earned runs given up is not a good thing. I think the biggest thing for him is to throw the sinker early in counts, get ahead, and then he can go to work with those off-speed pitches, and especially with all the lefties in the lineup today, he'll need to throw that changeup as well.
And it's a team that he's faced a lot in the New York Yankees. This will be the 13th time he started against the Yankees, the 10th time he started against the Yankees as a Blue Jay, and generally New York has had his number. He's 3-7 against the Yankees in his career, a 5.21 ERA, including ERAs above 5 against the Yankees each of the last 2 seasons. But this is the first time he faces New York this year. Blue Jays in the home whites, blue caps. For the Yankees, it's the road gray uniforms. Anthony Volpe standing just outside the box. Sunny day in downtown Toronto. Berrios stepping on the rubber. Salsa night as the Blue Jays take on the Yankees in the first game of this 4-game set. The kick and the pitch from Berrios blows it by him, a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Time of the first pitch today, 7:08 Eastern, 21 degrees Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit, and mostly sunny in downtown Toronto. The 0-1. Check swing, and that one tipped off, I believe, the knob of the bat, or maybe just a little bit up the handle, but it's a foul ball, and it's 0-2. Fans still filing in here at Rogers Center. Expected to be a big crowd tonight. Here's the 0-2. Slurve down and away. Anthony Volpe steps out of the box, the second-year shortstop, hitting .266 this year, 14 doubles, 7 triples to lead the team at 6 homers. 1-2 pitch. Reaches out and pokes a ball up the middle, just past the reach of Bichette into center. It's a base hit for Volpe, and that's exactly what the Yankees want with the dynamic duo coming up next.
Yeah, that was actually a good pitch. Although if you're going to double up with that slurve, you probably should change the location a little bit. Jose Berrios threw 2 slurves in a row in the same location, and Volpe was able to get the end of the bat and just hit a weak line drive up the middle.
Juan Soto about to step in, but first, time is called behind the plate by Jeremy Rehak. New baseball for Jose Berrios. One of the best batters in all of baseball, Soto brings a .303 average to the left side of the plate, 19 home runs and 57 RBIs. First pitch. Called strike one, a fastball right on the outside corner. They don't get more patient than Soto either, who's walked 67 times this year to 58 strikeouts. Open stance, stands on the toes of his front right foot. The 0-1. Just outside, Soto lays off and kicks some dirt away in the box.
And keep in mind, Anthony Volpe has 15 stolen bases over there at first base.
That leads the Yankees. He's been caught 4 times. No score, top of the first, runner on first. And with nobody out, the 1-1 pitch from Jose Berrios. Outside again, went with the changeup. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, good idea with the selection, but if you're going to have a successful changeup tonight, you have to start that pitch down the middle, make it look hittable. I know I say that a lot, but that's the most important thing when thinking about a changeup.
Hey, you say it a lot because it's important. 2-1. Swing and a pop-up, back of third. Clement racing back onto the turf, into foul territory, makes the catch overhead. And Soto's retired, 1 out.
That is a huge out in this inning, especially with Aaron Judge coming to the plate.
Here is Judge, the behemoth of a center fielder. 6'7", 282 pounds. And some jeers from the fans, likely for Judge to hear that all series as he steps into the box. You mentioned it off the top, a Major League Baseball leading 30 home runs for Judge. Homered in both games of the Subway Series the last 2 days. Berrios peaks at first. Volpe bouncing around, the pitch to Judge is hit high in the air, right field. Going back, Springer, circling near the corner, just onto the track, makes the catch. And a miss hit by Judge almost gets out, but it is the second out of the inning.
Well, those are the kind of fly balls that you hold your breath. You could hear the crowd with the initial reaction. They all thought that it was gone, and whenever Aaron Judge swings the bat, he has so much power, a lot like Giancarlo Stanton. You're almost expecting every fly ball to be a home run, but that one luckily caught by George Springer.
So Judge and Soto both retired, but still a runner on first. No score. 2 outs, top of the first. Alex Verdugo's up the pitch. Outside. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Yankees lead Major League Baseball in first inning runs with 63. 1-0. Just below the knees. 2 balls, no strikes. 63 for New York, contrasted by the 23 first inning runs the Blue Jays have scored.
I mean, I don't think that's a surprise. You have Juan Soto hitting second and Aaron Judge hitting third.
2-0. Called strike. Yeah, I mean, you're probably pretty good in 4th inning runs and maybe 7th inning runs.
And then you normally would have had Giancarlo Stanton in there, probably hitting cleanup.
And for a lot of this year until recently, Anthony Volpe was one of the hotter hitters in baseball, but he's gone on a bit of a slump. He's on first, though, after the leadoff single. 2 outs in the 2-1 to Alex Verdugo. No, instead of turn and throw over to first, long look by Berrios before he switched his feet and tossed over to check on Volpe. Volpe back in standing, though. Talking with first base coach Travis Chapman, Luis Rojas, the third base coach for the Yankees. Berrios peeks at first, kicks and fires. Breaking ball just outside. Three balls and 1 strike is the count against Verdugo. A .247 hitter, 9 homers, 41 RBIs in his first year as a Yankee. 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. Verdugo takes a walk. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer today. Stephen Coyle, Tristan Marcagiani, our technical directors. Alejandro Kirk steps out in front of home plate, gives some signs to the defense. With runners on first and second, Verdugo on first, Volpe on second, and the rookie Ben Rice at the plate in just his 9th Major League game. Rice 6 for 23 to start his Major League career. That's a .261 average. Right on left the pitch. Fastball just outside, 1-0. Berrios will ask for a new baseball. He's asked for a handful of new ones already in this first. And perhaps the lack of grip has contributed to the fact he's thrown more balls than strikes in 15 pitches.
It is a little bit chilly tonight, too, so I'm sure his hand is probably pretty dry.
1-0. That's called strike right over the heart of the plate. And dry is worse? You want some moisture on there?
Yeah, you want just a little bit of moisture, just a little bit of tack. You'll see pitchers either going to their neck or licking their fingers just for that tiny bit of moisture.
Kicks up the leg, spins over to second, does Berrios. Volpe is back in there. No Blue Jays middle infielder went over to cover. It is Bo Bichette who plays behind him up the middle with the left-handed hitter Rice at the plate. IKF at second, the former Yankee deep in the hole. 1-1. Swing and a pop-up back of third. Long run, Clement into left field, and he reaches out last second and makes the catch. Almost gave up on it like he thought Schneider was coming in there, but a late stab from Ernie Clement, and he makes the play to end the inning. A hit and a walk, 2 left, and no runs for the Yankees in the top of the first. Bichette, Kiner, Falefa, Guerrero hit against Carlos Rodon when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Kiermaier going back to the wall. He leaps and he made the catch!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the first inning in downtown Toronto. No score, Blue Jays and Yankees. Carlos Rodon, the lefty, on the mound for New York. About to make his 17th start of the year. Bo Bichette leading off, the wind in the pitch. Swinging a hard-hit ground ball. Dive by Volpe. It's off the glove of the shortstop and into left field. Volpe slammed his right hand into the turf. For Bo Bichette, it's his first hit since coming off the injured list.
I think that if Volpe came up with that baseball, he probably wouldn't have had a chance at Bo Bichette at first base anyways. He was deep in the hole between shortstop and third, and Bo was running hard to first base. That would have been a tough throw.
So the Blue Jays with a leadoff hit on Rodon's first pitch. Now the lefty from the stretch. The pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Called strike on the outside edge. For Carlos Rodon, a 9-4 record, a .386 earned run average. 84 strikeouts, 25 walks in just under 89 innings. Lefty's 0-1. Low. It's a hard four-seamer that Rodon relies on the most. Averages about 95 on that pitch. Throws it more than half the time. Slider is a big factor too, which he throws in the high 80s. And then he'll mix in a change, a cutter, and a curve.
Yeah, he's got really good stuff. Elite stuff, especially from the left side.
Here's 1-1. Swing and a foul back. Into the seats, 1-2.
But he's coming off his worst start of the season. 3 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 earned runs against the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, only a couple starts ago, this was another vintage Carlos Rodon season. But 7 against the Braves and 5 against the Red Sox in his last 2. 1-2. Almost hits IKF. It does hit him. Just tipped him on the back ankle. Rodon missed down there with a slider, and the first 2 have reached for the Blue Jays.
He was trying to bury that slider back foot, and I think he buried it just a little bit too much. Actually hit him in the back foot.
Oh, yeah, definitely got him. You didn't really hear it much, but it went right off the inside of that foot or that ankle for IKF, who looks no worse for wear. He's on first, Bo Bichette's on second, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is at the plate. Blue Jays team leader in batting average at .288 among qualified hitters. Rodon peaks at second, and the pitch. Top of the zone, called a ball, looked pretty good, and Austin Wells, the catcher, pointed his glove out to Rodon to let him know, but Vladdy ahead 1-0. Guerrero also leads the Blue Jays with 15 doubles and 40 RBIs. 1-0. Big swing and a miss. 97 up and in. And Guerrero just trying to launch a homer.
Yeah, that was a tough pitch. Even if he made contact with that pitch, it would have been tough to get the barrel to it on the inside part of the plate.
Bichette with a break from second stops, and the pitch inside to Guerrero, 2-1. I'm not sure if that was a deke or if Bo legitimately was thinking about running and just broke a little early. Kind of looks on replay like he was trying to run, but just got the jump a little too quickly. Rodon never noticed. Rodon looks at second, 2-1 pitch. Guerrero breaks his bat on a liner that's fair down the right field line, curling into the retaining wall. Bichette around third, he scores. Up to third, Kiner-Falefa. Guerrero stops at second with an RBI double. It's 1-0 Blue Jays.
Well, Vlad will gladly take that. Shatters his bat, hits a weak line drive down the right field line, and he ends up at second base, and the Blue Jays are ahead 1-0.
That's about the weakest double you'll ever see Guerrero hit. 65 miles an hour off the bat. But the bat went down a hero in its final swing. It drives in a run, and Toronto's got something cooking. Second and third now, still nobody out. Justin Turner coming up. 1-0 Blue Jays. A buzz in the ballpark with Toronto up in the first. Infield in for the Yankees. Left on right, the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. Turner really starting to get things going recently. Has his batting average back up to .243 on base plus slugging at .713. Driven in 24 this year. Here's the 1-0. Hughes shot, grounder, stays fair down the first baseline. It's rolling, and it's off the bag. They don't get him at first. First baseman Ben Rice was tracking it the whole way. IKF came in to score. It tight-roped the chalk and hit the bag. It's an RBI single for Turner, up to third. Guerrero, 2-0 Blue Jays.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Justin Turner with a huge smile on his face. That's got to be the weakest hit he's ever got. Gets an RBI. IKF comes scooting home on that weak ground ball that hits off the first base bag. Have you ever seen that before?
No. I thought that ball was going foul for sure. First and third, nobody out. George Springer takes high, ball one. 2-0 Blue Jays at Rogers Center. I thought the Vladdy's 65-mile-per-hour double was slow. That was hit 35 miles an hour off the bat. Turner leading off first, Guerrero on third. Rodon's 1-0. Swing and a miss. George Springer coming off his best day of the season. You don't count the suspended game yesterday, but 2 days ago, 3 hits, including a home run. 1-1. Swing and a miss again. Expands on 97 out of the zone. That was off the plate away. It's 1-2.
Well, it looked like he was trying to hit that ball the other way. Ben Rice is holding on Justin Turner at first, and Jahmai Jones is shaded towards second, so there's a big hole over there.
Middle infield back, corners more even with the baseline. 1-2. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. That one's way back, and that ball is gone. A second deck shot for George Springer, and the Blue Jays are up 5-0 before an out's been recorded. And that's got to be about as hard as we've seen George Springer hit a ball all season.
Well, Carlos Rodon left that ball about thigh high on the inside part of the plate. It looked like George Springer was guessing right on that pitch. He gets the barrel through and absolutely smokes it into the second deck in left field.
Swing and a miss by Davis Schneider to start his at-bat, 0-1. 3-run shot for Springer is his 7th of the season, hit it 391 feet. Looked like it was headed to the 5th deck for a moment. The 0-1 is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I think the problem was he hit it so high, it wasn't able to get all the way up there.
But for Springer, that's now homers in back-to-back games. And the Blue Jays are up 5-0, no outs, bottom 1. 1-1 pitch, called strike, 1-2.
Well, for a guy that just gave up 11 hits and 7 earned runs in his last start, this has got to be frustrating.
And Aaron Boone had said the theme in both of those last 2 starts. They ambushed him early. Davis Schneider fouls back a slider to keep himself at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boone said last start the Braves took his fastball away there. Springer hit a fastball out, like you mentioned. 1-2. Bounces to the plate. And Davis Schneider walks in front to pick it up and toss it back to the dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count.
And as soon as George Springer made contact with that baseball, Vlad, who was standing on third, had both hands up pointing to the sky. They want George Springer to do well.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gets him on a back foot slider. Davis Schneider is the first out of the inning.
He is a big piece of this team, not only in the lineup, but in the clubhouse as well. Always has a huge smile on his face. Always joking around, even when he's, let's be honest, not playing so well.
Maybe, though, a sign of things to come. The Blue Jays up 5-0, large in part due to the Springer 3-run shot. First pitch to Dalton Varsho. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 5-0 Blue Jays. Bottom of the first, 1 out and the base is empty. This is the only left-on-left matchup for Carlos Rodon. 0-1. Just outside, a little bit high. Welcome back, Dalton Varsho. His first time in the lineup since the 22nd of June. 1-1. Swing and a bouncing ball, backs up and eats up Rice, picks it up, throw to Rodon, and he got him. That was a race to the bag, and Varsho lunged for first. He got up a little bit slowly, but he appears to be okay as he's walking back down the first baseline and headed back to the Blue Jays dugout.
Well, I think the reason why that was so close at first base is Rodon hesitated just a little bit when Dalton Varsho made contact with that baseball. As a pitcher, if you hesitate, it's almost guaranteed to be a close play at first base.
So now 2 outs in a row, and Alejandro Kirk takes strike one. We're here in the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Shulman alongside Chris LaRue. 5-0 Blue Jays in the first. 0-1. High and outside. The pitch. Kirk swings and misses. 1-2. Obviously a long way to go, but you had mentioned off the top the recent struggles of the Yankees. They have lost 9 of 12 after losing 9 of the previous 39 before that. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a drive, right center field and deep. Going back, Soto. That ball bounces into the wall. Fielded on a bounce by Grisham. He tosses it back to second, but Kirk's already there with a stand-up double.
Well, Rodon tried to sneak that fastball by him on a 1-2 pitch. And Alejandro Kirk is so good at taking those fastballs on the outside part of the plate and driving them to the big part of the field. And right there, he drills that fastball off the wall in right center. That's a good swing right there.
So Kirk in scoring position, and now all 9 Blue Jays will have come up in this inning because Ernie Clement's at the plate, the number 9 hitter. First pitch from Rodon, foul tipped into the glove of Austin Wells, 0-1. Clement, a native of Rochester, New York, hitting .269 this year, 3 homers. Rodon looking in at him, the kick and the pitch. Swing and a liner, left field, down for a hit. Kirk stops at third as the throw comes back in quickly from Verdugo. Ernie Clement has a base hit, and that will keep this inning going as Bo Bichette's going to bat for the second time here in the first.
Well, I knew as soon as that ball got down in left field that Alejandro Kirk was not scoring on that play. Carlos Fablis was halfway to home plate with both hands up, stopping Kirk at third base.
It does mean, though, that there'll be a mound visit already from Matt Blake, the pitching coach for the Yankees. Gives us a second to look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every play at your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com for more details. Always devilishly good. Blue Jays up 5-0 in the first on the Yankees. Over in Baltimore, another early AL East lead as the Orioles lead world champions, the Texas Rangers, 6-0 in the fourth inning on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. First and third for the Blue Jays. 5-0, 2 outs, bottom of the first. And Bo Bichette back at the plate. He's singled to start this frame. The pitch. Swing and a foul back. Late swing decision by Bichette on the slider, 0-1. Matt Blake, the pitching coach, just went out to the mound, and now he's already on the phone calling to the Yankee bullpen. Here's Rodon's 32nd pitch of the inning. High, 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Yankees lost 12-2 last night and used a decent amount of bullpen arms, so this doesn't look good for that Yankees bullpen.
And they've had a lot of turnover recently in the pen, a handful of injuries. Left on right, the 1-1 is fouled back by Bichette. It's 1-2. And on cue, the guy who was called up today, Jake Cousins, is up in the Yankee pen. And he's starting to throw here in the first inning. Rodon sets at the belt. Clement off first, Kirk off third. The 1-2. Bounce to the plate. Bichette dances out of the way. That one nearly hit his back foot. Lefty Rodon in the set. He kicks and throws over to first. Clement back in. We'll talk now with Mark Budzinski. Ernie Clement 3 for 4 trying to steal bases this season. It's been a tough one for Carlos Rodon, the former 3rd overall pick by the White Sox in 2014 out of NC State. 2-2. Swing and a fly ball thundered down the right field line, but into the seats. Second deck, probably at home run distance.
NC State actually made it to the College World Series this year.
It's a good program.
Yeah, they're okay. They're not a Tar Heel or a Tennessee, but they're. No. I was surprised when they made it to the College World Series this year.
2-2 again. Fouled off again. Bichette hits this one off of his front leg and back behind the plate. Rodon, a native of Miami, Florida, pitching to Bo Bichette, who grew up in St. Petersburg. Two once more. High and outside. Ball 3, and now a 7-pitch at-bat for Bichette here, his second time around in this first. 5-0 Blue Jays. All of their first 5 hitters reached and scored this inning. George Springer had a 3-run homer. 2 outs, bottom of the first. First and third in the 3-2. Fouled off. Bichette spoils 97 right on the outside corner. That's a perfect pitch from Rodon, and Bichette's able to get rid of it.
Yeah, if you're Carlos Rodon, the only thing you can do there is kind of just shake your head. That is a pitcher's pitch, especially at 97 miles an hour.
And it might hurt a little bit more when it's your 38th pitch already this inning. Ernie Clement, not held on at first, will be off on the pitch. Kirk on third. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gets him on 97 above the zone, but the Blue Jays score 5 in the inning. They come up with 6 hits and lead 5-0 after 1. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
From Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran
It's just you and me.
to Zach Bryan,
Where the hell am I supposed to go?
Phoebe Bridgers, Noah Kahan, and beyond. The Coffee House serves up the singer-songwriters reshaping the sound of this moment, alongside stripped-down classics and acoustic covers.
You got a fast car.
Drop into the Coffee House, Channel 3 and the SiriusXM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89, or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues. Right now on Channel 87.
Aaron Judge drills a 3-run home run.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. Jose Berrios dots a fastball on the outside edge to start the second. He gets ahead, no balls and 1 strike against Jahmai Jones. 5-0 the Blue Jays lead as we start the top of the second. Berrios kicks and delivers. Swing and a bouncer to third. Clement backs up, backhands, throws over to first. There's 1 out. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, I can't say that. I guess I'll speak for both of us. I don't think either of us saw that coming in the first inning.
Well, definitely not the home run from George Springer. I thought that home run in Boston was enough for him for at least a few games. But he got all of that fastball. It was a good pitch. We were talking off air about Carlos Rodon actually hit his spot, and George Springer was able to get the bat through the zone.
And as it's had a great start to the game, now 2 people have decided to run on the field. So they are dispatched immediately. And we'll get back to baseball in a moment. Gives us a sec to look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We're in a matchup of two teams that people don't often remember Vladimir Guerrero Sr. played for. The Orioles are beating the Rangers right now 6-1. It was 6-0, but Adolis Garcia hit a solo home run to get the Rangers on the board. However, this game has featured already 2 hits and 3 RBIs for Heston Kjerstad, the top not the top absolute top prospect, but one of the top prospects for the Orioles. He hit a 2-run homer, his first of the season, off John Gray in the 3rd.
They have so many studs in their minor league system. I know that we talk about that a lot, but just
That's
to
true.
see them actually succeed at the big league level is just so impressive.
I mean, you even look over at the Milwaukee Brewers, who could send Joey Ortiz to the All-Star game. He was one of the prospects traded over for Corbin Burns, and in his first year, he's been great. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, speaking of things we didn't see coming, the Chicago White Sox beat the Atlanta Braves today 1-0, shut out the Braves. It was a first-inning homer by Luis Robert, and then the White Sox, in kind of a bullpen day, piece it together with several former Braves on this White Sox team, including Jared Schuster, who picked up the win in 3 innings of relief. 1-0, the final score, White Sox and Braves. Action ready to go again. Here's Austin Wells, the catcher, and Jose Berrios misses outside. 1-0. 5-0 Blue Jays, 1 out, bases empty, top of the 2nd. The left-handed hitting catcher Wells has his pant legs hiked up, exposing his dark socks. 1-0 pitch, again outside, 2-0. Jose Berrios allowed a little bit of traffic in the first, a single and a walk. His 2-0 pitch. Down and in, ball 3. But harder to give a guy a better cushion through 1 inning than the Blue Jays' 5-0 lead.
No, and I think the most important thing for Jose Berrios right now is throwing strike 1, especially with that 5-run lead, and especially to the bottom half of this New York Yankees lineup.
3-0 pitch hits the outside edge, 3-1.
You have 2 guys on the bottom half of this lineup hitting under 200. You have a guy in Austin Wells hitting 209, and then Oswaldo Cabrera is hitting 238. You have to throw strike 1.
Down in the count, here's the pitch. And it's sliced foul. Berrios at least has battled back after going down 3-0. It's now a full count against Wells. Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo on the injured list. No Gleyber Torres or DJ LeMahieu tonight. 3-2. Outside, ball 4. Berrios pounds his fist into his glove. That's a 1-out walk.
Yeah, that's not something you want to do, especially, like I said, the bottom half of this lineup is where you need to get those easy outs. And I don't mean actually easy, but they're less stressful than the top 4 of this lineup. So you have to take advantage of that. You have to throw strike 1 and get those ground ball outs.
Berrios now will try to bounce back instead against Oswaldo Cabrera, switch hitting third baseman, batting from the left side. Peek at first in the pitch. Called strike 1. Cabrera hitting 238 like Chris mentioned. 5 homers, 25 RBIs in 61 games. A 1. Slurve misses upstairs. Cabrera better batting from this left side. It's 245 this year batting left with an on-base plus slugging in the mid to high 600s. It's 220 batting as a righty. 1-1. Off the end of the bat, foul toward the third base dugout. Rattles the netting. It's 1-2. One out, Austin Wells on first, and a 5-0 Blue Jay lead. Kirk taps the ground with his glove. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3, fastball on the inside corner, and that might have been a deke from Kirk there as Berrios paints it on the inner edge for his first strikeout of the game.
Well, that pitch right there was nasty. Oswaldo Cabrera actually jumped out of the way, and that fastball comes right back over the inside part of the plate. A ton of horizontal movement on that sinker right there.
So now 2 down as Berrios gets that strikeout. Here's the bottom of the order. Trent Grisham, the pitch. Called the ball, looked pretty good on the outside edge. Kirk held it there for a moment. 1-0. 5-0 Blue Jays. Austin Wells on first with 1 stolen base and 1 attempt this year. And Grisham, a 136 hitter this season. Limited action, 9 for 66. The 1-0. Just outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
He's had a tough overall season, only hitting 136, but he's 3 for his last 7 with a homer and 2 walks. So he's probably seeing the ball a little bit better now than he had been earlier on in the season.
You don't want to miss big to him. 4 of his 9 hits are homers. 2-0. Hit on the ground to second. IKF moves towards second and flips it to Bichette, the shortstop, to end the inning. Berrios strands the 1-out walk and keeps Toronto up 5-0 middle of the second. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will lead off. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think 2 men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're 2 men and a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Our core values: equality, respect, the pursuit of greatness. Through and through, this is who we are.
Be at the ballpark to experience a proud tradition. Canada Day, Monday, July 1st. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Canadian tuxedo hat giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Proud to the core. Canadian to the core. Blue Jays to the core.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Jordan Romano saves the game for the Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Tuesday nights at the ballpark can only mean one thing: Looney Dogs nights, presented by Schneider's. Visit Rogers Center on Tuesday, July 2nd for tons of hot dog fun around the ballpark and all of the dollar dogs that you can dream of. Head to BlueJays.com/Looney Dogs to purchase your ticket. Welcome back to Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leading off for the Blue Jays, who lead 5-0. Carlos Rodon, the lefty, winds and delivers. IKF, a right-handed hitter, takes strike 1.
Carlos Rodon just threw his 40th pitch of the night, 27 strikes.
0-1. Swing and a fly ball, faults it down the left field line, headed toward the corner, and that ball is foul. Blue Jays might take a look at this one. It was very close to another second deck home run for Toronto.
Well, everybody was watching it. IKF took about 4 or 5 steps outside of that batter's box. He's looking back in the dugout right now, seeing if Gil Kim is going to give the thumbs up or not.
They will challenge. John Schneider made the signal, and now DJ Rayburn, the crew chief, coming in from second, along with third base ump Tom Hanahan, who made the foul call.
Are we sure that that's a John Schneider review, or is it a crew chief review?
So I'm not sure if they initiated it there. Their mic was not working fully, but Schneider definitely made the signal. Now, I believe they can challenge, or the crew chief can go and initiate it too.
Well, I wouldn't be shocked if that's a crew chief, just because it was so close. It looked fair from up here.
And they quickly make the call foul. And they did not say Toronto loses its challenge, so that would be a crew chief review. That was a big swing, though, for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who had his first multi-homer game of his career in Cleveland. 0-2. Bounce to the plate.
Yeah, that wasn't a very difficult call. That was obviously foul. From the review we just saw.
Now the 1-2. And it hit him on the back foot. That's the second time in this game that IKF has been hit on the back foot by a very literal back foot slider. And he'll go down to first.
Another back foot slider. Carlos Rodon shaking his head. Again, you call it a back foot slider, but you don't actually want to hit the back foot. Carlos Rodon doing it for the second time tonight.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1 for 1 with an RBI double. Takes the first pitch for strike one. Vlad entered today with 9 RBIs in his last 3 games. The most runs batted in he's had in a 3-game stretch since his rookie season. He already has one today. 0-1. He reaches out and flies the ball to center field. Right at Grisham, who backs up a step, comes in a step, and makes the catch. 1 out. Vlad had a bit of a bloop double to score the first run for the Blue Jays. Justin Turner had one of the more fortunate hits you'll ever see to score the second run for the Blue Jays in the first. He rolled the ball right down the first baseline. It was on the chalk the entire time, and it bounced off the bag for an RBI single. Runner on first, 1 out. Rodon looking at IKF, throws home, and misses near Turner's back foot, 1-0.
After that play happened, you could see Carlos Rodon had both of his arms or his hands on the top of his hat. Just so frustrated. Ben Rice probably should have picked that ball up right before it hit the bag.
1-0. Called strike. Because, yeah, by the time that it hit off the bag, they couldn't even get Turner at first, who was running down the line.
Yeah, that's one of those plays. I think that if Anthony Rizzo was playing first base, you would have seen him pick that baseball up right before it got to first base.
The 1-1. Fouled back. Slider on the outside edge, and now it's 1-2. Or pardon me, that was the change. Rizzo, though, on the injured list with a broken arm. So Rice, DJ LeMahieu, maybe a little Oswaldo Cabrera at first base for the foreseeable future. Austin Wells has played there a little. 1-2. Down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kiner-Falefa held on by Ben Rice. IKF with 3 stolen bases on the season. Tough to steal on the lefty Rodon, though, who sets at the belt and delivers. High, ball 3. Turner's work to full count. Infield shifted to the pull against the right-handed hitter Turner. Payoff pitch. Outside, ball 4. Turner aboard for the second time today, and runners on first and second. Only 1 out.
That fastball from Rodon was nowhere near the strike zone. An easy take for Justin Turner.
In the first inning, command wasn't really his issue for the most part. I mean, he did hit Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, but he gave up a lot of hits. But here in this inning, he's hit Kiner-Falefa again and now walked Turner. Here comes George Springer, who in the first inning hit his 7th home run of the season, a 3-run blast that has the game at 5-0. Springer stands up tall in the righty box. Pant legs hiked up, showing the blue socks. First pitch. Checks his swing on a pitch low, 1-0. Because they don't count the results of yesterday's suspended game yet, Springer 4 for his last 5 with 2 home runs. Rodon kicks the leg up, swings around to second, and back standing is IKF. Jahmai Jones, the second baseman, went over to the bag, but no throw.
It's a pretty good last couple of games for George Springer.
He will take it for sure. 1-0. Swing and a fly ball left center, and George Springer has done it again. That one into the WestJet flight deck. It's a 2-homer game for Springer. He has 6 RBIs in 2 innings. 8-0 Blue Jays. make it home run 250 for Springer, and he got it with an exclamation point. 434 feet.
Well, that might be his best swing of the season. He got a fastball right down the middle from Carlos Rodon, and he smoked that thing. He knew it was gone right off the bat.
What a day for Springer. First pitch to Davis Schneider, called strike one.
5 for 6 with 3 homers now.
It's pretty good.
We'll just keep going up and up and up.
Yeah. 0-1. Outside, 1-1. I mean, that one was more of a mammoth shot than the last one with where he hit it to in the ballpark. 1-1. Outside, 2-1.
That was more of a Vlad-style homer than a George Springer homer.
434 feet is by far his longest homer of the season. 2-1 pitch to Schneider, up and away. 3 balls, 1 strike. And the Blue Jays are up 8-0 in the bottom of the second with 1 out. 3-1. Schneider with a big swing and a high pop-up, slicing right side of the diamond, and just out of play. Toronto has twice as many runs as outs they've had at the plate so far. 4 outs, an inning and a third for Rodon. He's given up 8 runs, all earned.
And who would have thought that it could get worse from his last outing? His last outing, 11 hits in 3 2/3.
Gave up 7 earned runs in that one.
And he's given up 8 earnies.
Swing and a miss by Schneider on a high 3-2 pitch. He goes down for the second out.
And just an inning and 2/3 for Carlos Rodon, who had been having a pretty solid season.
And generally, with the exception of really last year, has been one of the better pitchers in Major League Baseball. He's in year 2 of a 6-year, $162 million contract. But his earned run average has gone up almost a run today. It's over 4.5. First pitch to Dalton Varsho, called strike.
He just threw his 60th pitch of the game, and he's thrown an inning and 2/3.
8-0 Blue Jays. The 0-1. Varsho swings and misses. 0-2. Rodon winds and delivers. High with a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees had action last inning in the pen. They don't have anyone up now. Rodon had 62 pitches. Southpaw's 1-2 offering. Freezes Varsho, called strike 3 with a splitter. Toronto adds 3 more on 1 hit. George Springer with his second 3-run homer in as many innings. And the Blue Jays are up 8-0 after 2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, with over 2 million sold, it's Fixed Rate Pizza, a hot and fresh extra-large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for Fixed Rate Pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
George Springer has given the Blue Jays the lead once again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
2 home runs in 2 innings for George Springer, an 8-0 Blue Jays lead as we go to the third. The Yankees batting here in the top of the third inning. Thanks so much for joining us at Rogers Center. Anthony Volpe leads off for New York. Jose Berrios' first pitch to Volpe is called strike 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. I said this last inning, Chris, but I think even still we're both surprised that now this inning we're here with the Blue Jays up a touchdown and a 2-point conversion after 2 innings. 0-1 pitch is a check swing bouncer foul into the backstop, 0-2.
Well, I was expecting Carlos Rodon to just be absolutely locked in today after having a couple of tough starts in his last 2 starts. But he just had his 3rd rough start in as many starts.
See if he comes out for the third. Berrios, facing the top of the order, kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He went right on right with the changeup and dropped it down and in on Volpe for his 2nd strikeout of the day.
That was nasty. That almost had split finger action to it. Dropped off the table as soon as it hit that plate. Anthony Volpe swings right over the top of it.
Here's the tough part of the order now for the Yankees once again. Juan Soto up to the plate. 0 for 1 today, popped out to Ernie Clement, the third baseman, in foul territory in the first. Right on left, the pitch. High, ball 1. It was really interesting to see Juan Soto, who of course has played the Mets many times, but to play the Mets in a Yankee uniform over the last couple days. The 1-0. Called strike. That pitch looked quite high, but Soto, who's now going to ask some questions of Jeremy Rehak, faces a 1-1 count. And I say this because the general rumors are in the offseason the Yankees and the Mets could be tussling for the left-handed slugger. 1-1 in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, he is going to command a ton of money.
Juan Soto has already denied contracts from the Nationals, that is, in the $400-500 million range. 2-1 on the outside edge to even up the count. And part of the reason is, despite how productive Soto is, he's still incredibly young. He was born in October of '98. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Another changeup for a swinging strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Berrios here in the third.
And Juan Soto was falling backwards, nodding his head, staring at Jose Berrios as he went back to that Yankees dugout. That'll tell you how nasty that changeup was.
You don't often get Soto off balance like that. But 2 outs here. Berrios looking for his first 1-2-3 inning, but standing in his way. 6-7 Aaron Judge. The pitch. Slurve on the outside edge. Strike 1. 8-0 Blue Jays. This third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Collingwood and Orangeville. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection. Judge handcuffed on a front hip slurve. It hits the inside edge. And now Berrios ahead in the count, 0-2.
Judge hit .220 in April, by the way.
He's hit over 400 since, batting over 300 right now. 0-2. Bouncer foul off to the left. Or is it close to 400 since? Maybe not over.
361 in May, 403 in June. 14 homers in May, 10 home runs already in June. I mean, he is on a tear.
Those 14 homers in May, the most home runs he's hit in a month. And he hit 62 home runs one year. That's the most in his career he's ever hit in a month. 0-2. Chopped on the ground to third, fielded by Clement in foul territory. He'll toss it over the netting into the seats.
Well, I guess with 30 homers, and we're not quite to July, you have to factor in the All-Star break. Is he on pace for 62 homers?
Well, this is their 83rd game of the year for the Yankees, so he's kind of just under a 60-homer pace, but it rounds up that way. But he can change that pretty quickly. 5 homers in his last 8 games. 0-2. Sliced off to the right and out of play foul. Well, this is the third time in Judge's career that he's hit 30 homers before the All-Star break. Did it in 2022, did it in 2017, and you know what he did in both of those years, Chris? He won very significant awards. Rookie of the Year in 17, MVP in 2022. 0-2. Check swing, and it's just outside on the fastball. Berrios started to walk to the dugout, backpedaled back to the rubber. It's a tough take by Judge to make it 1-2.
He is feeling it tonight. Everything is working for him. That last sinker was nasty, just off the plate.
Righty kicks and pitches. Check swing liner off the glove of Berrios, bounces to second. IKF picks it, throws to first, and that's the top of the third. 1-2-3 for Berrios against the top of the Yankee order. It's 8-0 Blue Jays, middle of 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's FSGA Draft Week on Fantasy Sports Radio.
It's a judging and blast.
The brightest minds in the fantasy sports industry are drafting against each other in specialized fantasy football drafts with a different draft each day.
Guess who just hit a home run? See you later! Kyle Tucker. That cashes both of our bets.
Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, the one-of-its-kind in-game betting draft, exclusively on SiriusXM Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hi, I'm Ozzie Smith, and my road to Cooperstown was paved in yellow gold.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of the new SiriusXM podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith.
When you're a small guy, you got to prove your worth over and over again because you're always hearing that negative, even after you accomplished.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Bottom of the third at Rogers Center. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 8-0. The Blue Jays lead the Yankees. Alejandro Kirk, Ernie Clement, and Bo Bichette will bat this inning for Toronto against lefty starter Carlos Rodon. Left on right, the pitch to Kirk. High ball 1. Kirk 1 for 1 today, hit his 5th double of the season. Back in the first inning, a deep fly ball to right center. Swings at the 1-0 and pounds it back into the netting foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Alejandro Kirk, that hit jumped him back over the Mendoza line, now batting .202. Also has 2 homers, 16 RBIs. 1-1. Swinging a fly ball deep down the left field line, but foul. Got on the curveball there from Rodon. Two 3-run homers by George Springer, the big difference in this 8-0 game. 1-2. Called strike 3. Fastball down the middle. And Kirk goes down for the 5th Rodon strikeout of the start, his 3rd K in a row.
Yeah, Rodon just snuck that fastball in there. It looked like Kirk was expecting something off speed.
So that brings up Ernie Clement with 1 out. Ernie's 1 for 1. He's singled to left field in the first. The pitch. Called strike 1. A childhood fan of the Yankees, Clement has hit over 300 against New York this season and had 2 doubles and a homer in 5 prior games, 3 starts. This is 4th start and 6th game now against the Yankees. He fouls back the 0-1.
Clement having a pretty solid year, quietly, of course. 274.
0-2. Swing and a liner. Left field, foul into the netting. Bouncing back into the field of play. And he's doing that without getting everyday at-bats. He plays pretty sporadically. Last 7 starts for Ernie. He's 11 for 22. 0-2. Fouled back. Reached for 95 above the zone and sent it straight back into the net.
Yeah, I think you're right. We saw that with Kevin Biggio. It's very difficult in the big leagues to play sporadically, to come in late in ball games, to get a start once a week, maybe. But Ernie Clement's doing a very, very good job.
1 out, bases empty. 0-2 again. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So 4 strikeouts in a row for Rodon. 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Here comes Bo Bichette. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Hit a home run on your next home improvement. For a great selection of renovation products and quality brands, Timbermart has the bases loaded for a grand slam on every project. Batter up. Timbermart is Canada's building center. Bo Bichette is up. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run score. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Big hack. 0-1. Carlos Rodon had 73 pitches here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. Lines and delivers. Bichette swings and misses again. 0-2. First a slider, then a changeup to get Bo in that 0-2 hole. Next pitch. High. Bichette lays off. Blue Jays would love to get into this Yankee bullpen early, especially with the 4-game series. 1-2. Chopped high off the plate toward 3rd. Charging in a bare-hand play by Cabrera, who throws out Bo. That was a heck of a play by Oswaldo Cabrera, barehanding it beside his face and tossing out the Blue Jays shortstop. A 1-2-3 frame for Carlos Rodon, an 8-0 lead for the Blue Jays going to the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Ally 400 from Nashville Superspeedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
2:30 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Ally 400 from Nashville Superspeedway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, in the car, and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are, with the SiriusXM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
It's the 4th inning, presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Top of the 4th inning, 8-0 Blue Jays over Yankees in the opener of a 4-game set at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Alex Verdugo leading off. Right on left, the pitch. And Jose Berrios misses inside, 1-0. Berrios has allowed a hit and 2 walks, no runs in 3 innings. Verdugo, one of the walks, 1-0. Fastball at the knees. Toronto was looking for a bounce-back start from Berrios. Still some time to go. But it has rolled out that way through 3. He twists and fires. And just misses below the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike. What have you liked from Berrios so far?
He's attacking the zone. I think that's the most important thing. We heard John Schneider talk before the game, actually, about the fact that he needs to locate that fastball, needs to have command of that fastball, and he really has up until this point.
Just missed a hair inside with a cutter. 3 balls, 1 strike.
And you said it's early. I know it's early, but everything is working for him so far. That changeup specifically, because there are so many lefties in this lineup. The sinker has been nasty. He threw one of the best sinkers of the season to Aaron Judge. It was a ball, but it was just outside. He looks good tonight.
3-1 sinker catches the inside edge at 95. It's 3-2. That one's so good. Verdugo backed out of the way before it broke back over the plate. 3 strikeouts for Berrios, 1 on the sinker and 2 on changeups.
He hasn't really thrown many slurves.
No, just a handful. Payoff pitch. Fastball popped up, drifting into shallow left center. Davis Schneider coming in, makes the catch. 1 out.
And even that sinker right there, right down the middle, but it started in and then kind of had that horizontal movement to the middle of the plate, and it had so much movement on it that Verdugo was just the only thing that he could really do is pop it up.
That the 25th sinker Berrios has thrown today. 9 slurves, 8 changeups, 8 four-seamers, and 2 cutters. Typically the slurve is going to be, by a good margin, his second most used pitch. First pitch to Ben Rice, the rookie, takes strike 1. That time is slurve right on the outside edge.
But again, I told you this, I think it was yesterday. When you have lefties in the lineup, it's difficult to just throw those slurve, that slider, every single off-speed pitch.
Breaking ball hit on the ground to first, fielded by Guerrero, flips back to the Gold Glover. Berrios steps on the bag, 2 down.
Because when lefties are in the box, they can see a little bit of a hump. I don't know why. It's just something that lefties can see. They can see that slurve a little bit sooner, and they can see that slider a little bit sooner. So it's really important to be able to throw that changeup for strikes, and Jose Berrios is doing it tonight.
He's retired now 7 batters in a row. And here's Jahmai Jones, the second baseman. First pitch. Just misses inside, 1-0. Jones has been with the Yankees a lot, but hasn't played a ton. He swings at the 1-0 and hits a fly ball. Center field. Going back, Varsho makes the catch on the track. Misjudged it initially coming in, but breaks back toward right center and makes the play over the shoulder to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 for Berrios, now 8 in a row retired. It's 8-0 Blue Jays, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikeys accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior Jays, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting, because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I was brought up in the front row, that fire and brimstone.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leading off for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the fourth inning at Rogers Center. 8-0 Toronto. Carlos Rodon's first pitch over the plate, top of the zone for strike one. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The 0-1. IKF reaches out and pokes it foul down the third baseline, bouncing into the side retaining wall. 0-2. Kiner-Falefa on a 10-game hit streak. He hasn't really gotten the chance to hit today, though. Hit by pitches twice. 0-2. Takes inside.
I wonder if Carlos Rodon's going to try to throw him another back foot slider.
Has hit him in the back foot twice. Maybe go with the change this time. Here's the 1-2 from the lefty. And he misses downstairs with the breaking ball. That was the change. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty good call by you. Should be the pitching coach of the Yankees.
I think that one was an obvious. Maybe don't throw the slider. 2-2. Swing and a liner up the middle. Speared on one hop by the shortstop Volpe. Throw to first, not in time. It's a base hit for Kiner-Falefa. He's got an 11-game hit streak.
I think they'll have another look at this one. I would love to see a slow motion replay.
Austin Wells, the catcher who tracked up the line, backing it up for the Yankees, is talking to their dugout. That was a close one. Yankees will not challenge, though. So for Kiner-Falefa, it's now an 11-game hit streak. He's trying to catch his career high of 15 that he set with the Yankees in 2022.
That was a weird throw from Volpe. Looked like he didn't really get much on it, but he should have, in my opinion.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. First pitch is bounced high to third, speared by Cabrera. Throws to second one, Jones over to first. 5-4-3. Double play. Volpe was the Gold Glover last year at shortstop in his rookie season, and going into the season beat out IKF for that shortstop spot. IKF had started at short in 2022. So 2 outs and the bases empty. Rodon's pitch to Justin Turner. Outside, ball 1. 8-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the fourth. You don't want to fault the Blue Jays offensively in any way, up 8-0, but that double play does hurt a chance here to drive up the Rodon pitch count. His 84th pitch of the day is called strike one. You do want to get Rodon out of the game as soon as possible if you're the Blue Jays. And after 2 really tough innings to start, he's faced the minimum in the last 2. 1-1. Turner fouls it back, 1-2. Where do you think they take Rodon to pitch count-wise? He's at 85 right now.
Well, I think that he'll probably go to 100. And at this point, down 8-0, I think the Yankees are just going to use somebody that they'll send down tomorrow, and then they'll bring another guy up. So getting into their bullpen, I don't think at this point really matters anyways.
Next pitch to Turner outside, 2-2.
They won't use any other big guys that they're going to use in the next 2 or 3 games. That's what I would do if I was Aaron Boone.
2-2. Called strike 3. Slider on the outside edge. Freezes Turner. 7th strikeout of the day for Rodon, who faces the minimum after a leadoff hit in the bottom of the 5th. Or pardon me, in the bottom of the 4th. We go to the 5th with the Blue Jays up 8-0. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The
first presidential debate.
I just want to debate this guy.
Make my day, pal. Hear it live tonight on CNN. With post-debate coverage with Megyn Kelly on Triumph, Stacey Washington on Patriot, Julie Mason on POTUS, and with John Fugelsang on Progress. And your voice.
There's just so much at stake in our country today.
About your vote.
When we vote, it's voting for ourselves.
The CNN presidential debate tonight, 9 p.m. East on CNN Sirius XM 116.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The final major championship of 2024 is coming, and you can hear all the action on SiriusXM.
Up toward the hole, has a chance, and it goes! Rory McIlroy with an overhand fist bump!
Coverage of the 152nd Open Championship begins Monday, July 15th, with play-by-play beginning Thursday, July 18th on Open Radio.
He's holding the big one! Brian Harman is the champion golfer of the year!
Hear the 2024 Open Championship on Channel 92 when you're in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Ray Hudson, and for all the biggest matches from club soccer's Holy Grail, the UEFA Champions League, tune in to SiriusXM FC 157.
Radio Network.
Fifth inning at Rogers Center. Welcome back to downtown Toronto. The Blue Jays up 8-0 on the Yankees. Jose Berrios' first pitch to Austin Wells. The catcher hits it on the ground to second, picked up by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Optioned over to first, 1 out. The fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Financial Group. Desjardins awarded another 150 grants worth $20,000 each to entrepreneurs across Canada. See how Desjardins cheered on small biz at goodsparkgrants.ca. So Jose Berrios, who's now retired 9 in a row, faces Oswaldo Cabrera, the switch hitter, with 1 out. Righty kicks and fires. Called strike 1.
He threw a first pitch changeup to Austin Wells up 8-0. That's some growth. That's some. No, I'm serious. What do you like about growth. I love it. I love the fact that you're throwing the 0-0 changeup, getting a quick ground ball.
And the 0-1 there hits Oswaldo Cabrera in the hand. He's spun away. He's taken off his batting gloves. Looks like he's all right. Thankfully, he'll go down to first. Actually got him on the elbow guard.
Was that a cutter or a fastball?
That was, they say, the four-seam fastball from Berrios.
That's all right. Throw another changeup here. First pitch, get a double play. No, I'm serious. That first pitch he threw to Austin Wells was awesome.
Here's Trent Grisham at the plate, who he got to bounce out into a fielder's choice in the second. He goes with first pitch change. It's too good of a pitch.
Yeah.
It's taken right on the outside edge for strike 1.
Yeah, if you want to swing and a miss, you throw it to the outside part of the plate or down. If you want a ground ball, you throw it right down the middle.
Infield shifted to the pull side against the left-handed hitter Grisham. 0-1, high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trent Grisham came over with Juan Soto in the big trade with the Padres this offseason, now with his third team. Originally drafted by the Brewers, debuted with them in 2019. 1-1. Swing and a fly ball, deep left, sprinting back, Schneider at the wall, and that ball is gone. Into the bullpen, it's a home run for Trent Grisham, his 5th of the year, and the Yankees are on the board. 8-2 Toronto, now the score.
That actually wasn't a terrible pitch from Jose Berrios, but Trent Grisham just gets enough of it to sneak it out of here into that Blue Jays bullpen beyond left field.
Bit of a look of frustration from Berrios. Went with the sinker. It was on the outside edge. But Grisham hit it out the opposite way. And life here for the Yankees in the top of the 5th. Again, 8-2 Toronto, 1 out. Bases empty now. And the pitch to Anthony Volpe. Slurve outside. That home run, the first hit for the Yankees since Volpe led off the game with a single. Volpe swings and powers the ball to deep right. Springer going back, backpedaling onto the track just in front of the wall. Makes the catch, now 2 down.
And now it's still a pretty comfortable lead for this Blue Jays team, but you have to think about making good pitches now. You have to think about, especially with Aaron Judge coming up, Juan Soto, those guys that can change a game with one swing. Now you have to make good pitches to those guys instead of just trying to get ahead with a quick fastball and sneaking one by them.
Soto 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop-up in foul territory. First pitch by Berrios is a perfect slurve on the outside corner, bottom of the zone. Strike one.
Yeah, I think if it was 8-0, if the score was still the same score, I think he would have tried to sneak a sinker in there, but instead he's being careful with that backdoor slurve.
0-1. Called strike 2. On the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, since we last checked on that Baltimore and Texas game, the Orioles have enlarged in their lead. It's now 8-1 instead of 6-1. A 2-run shot by Cedric Mullins. 8-1, top of the 7th. 8-2 Blue Jays, top of the 5th. And the 0-2 to Soto is waved at and missed. Strike 3. Pitch in the dirt. Kirk applies the tag. Soto tosses away his bat and helmet. He'll get a fine for that. And that's the top of the 5th. 2-run shot by Trent Grisham. It's 8-2 Blue Jays over Yankees. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
They had to make that deal in order to be a championship contender.
Basketball's business season is officially underway. And NBA Radio has you covered with wall-to-wall free agency action starting Sunday.
Blockbuster deal. It's a 3-team trade.
We're breaking down every rumor and every signing.
That would be a huge pickup.
The NBA free agency free-for-all starts Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
It's madness. It's chaos.
Don't miss a moment on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Nobody covers the National Football League like SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Mahomes fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
Stay updated with the latest news leading up to training camps.
We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games.
Our panel of experts is getting you ready for the 2024 season.
The more I watch this guy, the more I like him.
There's a story for every team on SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Sharing the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
George Springer leading off for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 5th inning, 8-2 Toronto. Springer with 2 homers on the day takes the first pitch outside, 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Rodon's 1-0. Swing and a miss. Springer with a hard cut through that cutter. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You think he's trying to go for number 3 with that kind of swing?
He's the difference in this 8-2 game. 1-1. Downstairs, 2-1. Once in George Springer's career, he's hit 3 homers in a game. September 22nd, 2019, as an Astro against the Los Angeles Angels. The 2-1. Outside, 3-1.
Well, he's about to get a decent pitch right here.
3-1. Swing and a bouncing ball up the middle into center field, a base hit. Might not be a 3rd homer, but it is a 3rd hit for Springer.
Yeah, he put a good swing on it, but that was a fastball down and away. Not much you could do with that, but just hit it up the middle. And I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm seeing a guy that is seeing the ball better, taking better swings. I mean, he's 3 for 3 with 6 ribbies tonight.
I'm seeing a lot of hits.
That's all you're worried about.
I'm seeing a lot of hits. Here's David Schneider, 0 for 2. Pair of strikeouts against Rodon. First pitch, Springer takes off for second. It's fouled back. Springer never looked. He head first dives into second, but that ball's in the seats, 0-1. George Springer is tied for the team lead right now with 8 stolen bases, and he hasn't been caught. Tied with Dalton Varsho. Phil Bickford getting loose in right field for the Yankees. Lefty Rodon with a slide step and a pitch. It's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That last miss for Rodon was his 94th pitch of the start. Blue Jays have tagged him today for 8 runs on 9 hits. 1-1. Swinging a hot shot, bounces past the dive of the third baseman Cabrera into left field. A hit for Schneider, Springer up to second. The Blue Jays have double-digit hits with nobody out in the 5th and 2 on.
Well, that was just a cutter right down the middle, and Davis Schneider drilled it into left field through that hole. Everybody's getting in on it tonight.
Here comes Dalton Varsho now for the Blue Jays. After Schneider's base hit, Varsho is the only remaining hitless Blue Jay today, although he is the only guy in a left-on-left matchup with Rodon. First and second, no outs. And the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Varsho returning from injury today, didn't go on the injured list, but was dealing with a lower left back strain. Suffered it after a swing against Emmanuel Clase on the 22nd, facing off with Cleveland. 1-0. Called strike.
That's a nice little present from John Schneider. Hey, welcome back. Here's Carlos Rodon.
Yeah. He has been, though, their best lefty. I mean, it's a tough one, but he has been their best lefty hitting lefties this year with any sort of sample. Long look at second, the 1-1. Swing and a foul back. 1-2. Varsho has hit .277 with a .774 on base plus slugging against lefties this year. He's hit below 200 with a .700 OPS against righties. So he's actually, in not a ton of action, been more effective for some reason hitting left on left. 1-2. Called strike 3. Tough pitch, top of the zone. A spinning slider gets Varsho for the first out. Aaron Boone is walking out to the mound, and after Carlos Rodon's 8th strikeout, he is going to be lifted from this ballgame. The Blue Jays get him for 8 runs in the first 2 innings. He pitches into the 5th, but he'll leave with Toronto up 8-2. Runners on first and second, and 1 out. Rodon and Boone having a discussion right now, and no, Boone's going to leave him in the game. Pardon me. They had the bullpen door open, and they had Bickford running in from right field, but Rodon talked Boone out of it.
Well, Bickford was about 2/3 of the way to the cut of the grass on the infield and then stopped and went back. I mean, that's got to be embarrassing. I wonder what the fans are saying to him out there in right field.
I don't know that I've ever seen that before. A guy almost to the infield.
That's almost like one of those things you see in the movie Major League.
Yeah. But Boone never made the point despite the reliever coming in. So it's going to stick with Rodon. Here's Alejandro Kirk. The pitch. Swing and a foul back, 0-1. Rodon unleashed that last pitch at 98, his 100th pitch of the outing. Springer on second. Schneider on first. 1 out. 8-2 Blue Jays. Bottom of the 5th. 0-1. High and outside. Was mentioning the recent injury of Dalton Varsho. We'll take a look at the injury report in a sec. Brought to you by Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count. Call Bergmanis Prera Personal Injury Lawyers. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Prera will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. 1-1 pitch, high and inside, 2-1. John Schneider told us pregame that Jordan Romano and Jimmy Garcia just had a light catch day today. Both long tossed at 120 feet off flat ground yesterday. 2-1. Swing and a pop-up by Kirk. Second baseman Jones camped under it. Infield fly rule. And Kirk is out. Jones makes the catch. Next step for both of those Blue Jays righty relievers is to get off a mound. And Romano ramped up, and then they had him take a couple days off when he had some soreness. He's ramped back up again. Garcia has had more of a steady ramp up, and Schneider told me today that he believes that's the third time he's long tossed at 120 feet. So you don't know anything for sure, but you'd figure that probably means he's off the mound soon. 2 outs, 2 on, 8-2, and the pitch to Ernie Clement. Foul tipped into the glove of Austin Wells, 0-1.
Well, that is good news, especially the way this Blue Jays offense is swinging the bat.
Toronto has come alive with the bats over the last couple days. Their last full game, a 9-4 win over the Red Sox. Now the 0-1 bounce to home plate, blocked off the chest by Wells, 1-1. And even in the loss before that, the Blue Jays had put up 6 runs and then 5 runs in the loss in the finale to Cleveland. 8-2, Toronto leads. All 8 runs in the first 2 innings. Trying to add to that lead now. First and second, 2 down. Left on right, the pitch to Clement. Swing and a miss. Out in front of that slider, it's 1-2. Rodon wipes his left hand off on his pants, stretches his left arm over his head and behind his back, and now steps on the rubber and comes set. 1-2. Swing and a chopper to short. Charging in Volpe, goes the short way to second, beats Schneider there for the third out of the inning. 2 hits for the Blue Jays, but 2 left on. It's 8-2 Toronto going to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is the best I've ever seen.
The competition's heating up on America's Got Talent.
Yeah!
Heart-pumping performances.
This season, everything is 10 times better.
And must-see moments.
You absolutely nailed it.
It was incredible.
The word is epic.
With $1 million dream on the line.
You've got a real shot at winning after that.
America's Got Talent. Only Tuesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Runner going, throw down to second. They got him.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. A beautiful evening here as the Blue Jays are leading 8-2 over the Yankees. We're about to start the 6th. Jose Berrios on the mound, kicks and fires to Aaron Judge. Pitch called low, pretty close, but it's 1-0.
And no matter the score, it's always fun to see Aaron Judge standing in the box.
Judge, Major League Baseball's leader in home runs and RBIs. 1-0. Check swing, pitch down and away. Peel down to first, no swing, says Clint Vondrak. It's 2-0.
Do you think he's the largest overall human in Major League Baseball as well?
I mean, who are his contenders? I'm trying to think. O'Neal Cruz is tall. 2-0 pitch. Judge goes around. Swing and a miss there to make it 2-1. But I think Judge is thicker, like in a good way, than Cruz.
Giancarlo Stanton, I guess, but I think he's smaller in terms of
yeah,
height.
he's wider than Judge,
but he's shorter.
Yordan Alvarez again would be shorter but wider.
He's a big boy.
He is big. 2-1. Fouled back 2-2. I don't know how many guys ever have been bigger than Judge, especially hitters.
How big was... No, Mike Piazza was 6'5", right?
Yeah, he wasn't 6'7".
No. That's too tall for a catcher.
Yes.
Even 6'5" is too tall for a catcher.
Listed at 6'3", apparently.
Piazza? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
2-2. Swinging a foul off to the right. That one will get into the seats. One of the bigger catchers of all time, Matt Wieters, was 6'5", but still not Judge-sized.
At least not as impressive as Judge.
I mean, there are guys certainly who have been taller than Judge. Of course, Randy Johnson, former Blue Jays closer John Roush. 2-2. Check swing on a pitch, down and away, appeal down to first. He went around, and Judge already knew it. He was walking back to the first base dugout as he was rung up by Clint Vondrack. That's the 5th Berrios strikeout of the day.
Well, in the top of the 5th, he made Juan Soto take an uncomfortable swing, and just like that, he makes Aaron Judge take an uncomfortable swing. There's something about his pitches tonight that those two guys aren't really seeing that well.
They are a combined 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. Here's Alex Verdugo, 0 for 1 with a walk. Takes the first pitch for called strike 1. 8-2 Blue Jays, 1 out, bases empty, top of the 6th inning. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Here in the 6th, Berrios trying to extend a pretty impressive streak. In 11 straight home starts, he's gone 6 or more innings pitched. That's the longest active streak in Major League Baseball. Righty steps on the mound, looks in, and the 0-2. Foul tipped, held on to by Kirk. He gets Verdugo on the slurve. And that'll be back-to-back strikeouts to start the inning. 3 in a row going back to the Soto strikeout in the 5th.
That was an impressive slurve right there. Tried to back foot it, didn't quite get it to the dirt, but Verdugo swings right over it.
Kirk just held on to it. It almost popped out of the leather. But now 2 down, the rookie Ben Rice up 0 for 2. Right on left, the pitch. Rice way out in front of a changeup. 0-1. Ben Rice was called up on June 18th, one day after Anthony Rizzo went on the injured list with a broken arm. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Doubles up on the changeup. Rice out in front again. 0-2. Asked Darren Boone about Rice before the game, and he mentioned how he really likes how he controls the strike zone. Said, this guy's a big league hitter. 0-2. Downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rice with 15 homers already in the minor leagues this season, 20 last year, but no extra base hits in the majors. 1-2. Started to go, but stops on a back foot slurve. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he hasn't done a lot in the big leagues yet. Obviously a small sample size, but last year in the minor leagues, he had 324, 20 homers, 68 RBIs in just 73 games.
Pretty impressive for the lefty hitter. 2-2. Just inside again, full count.
And this year in Scranton, not quite as high with that average, 275, but 15 homers already this season.
It's the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, AAA affiliate of the Yankees. 3-2. Outside ball 4. There's a walk for Rice. That extends the inning for Jahmai Jones. After 2 strikeouts, Guerrero going over to Berrios, offering a word of encouragement, clapping into his glove. As Berrios walks back up the hill. Jones, a waiver claim from the Brewers on February 28th. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Guerrero creeping in toward the mound. The first baseman makes a 2-handed catch and ends the inning. Berrios strands the 2-out walk, keeps the Blue Jays up 8-2, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Party people!
Feel the energy of 8 decades of hits.
You're unbelievable.
That made summer even hotter.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
The Billboard Top 500 Summer Hits Countdown. For a limited time, starting Saturday on Channel 105. And all summer long on the SiriusXM app. Just search Summer Sounds.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your SiriusXM subscription? What? Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on SiriusXM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. SiriusXM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Home half of the 6th inning in Toronto, and a new pitcher on the mound for the Yankees. Phil Bickford takes over for New York with Toronto up 8-2. They really got to Carlos Rodon today, the lefty, surrendering a career-high 8 earned runs in 5 innings on 10 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. So now the righty Bickford will face the top of the order. Here's Bo Bichette. Again, 8-2 to score, the pitch. Fastball in there, strike 1.
Phil Bickford finally getting a chance to pitch in this ballgame after running out on the field in the previous inning.
That was with 1 out. They decided to leave Rodon in. 0-1 pitch. Called strike 0-2. Even though Aaron Boone was on the field, he allowed Rodon to continue, and Rodon got the next 2 guys to end the 5th. Now Bickford, the short-haired righty, sets straight up. Glove near his chest, the pitch. Bounced to the right side by Bichette. Picked up at second by Jahmai Jones. He throws to first, 1 out. Phil Bickford pitching for the 4th time this season, has given up 2 earned runs in 3 innings before today. A little bit of history with the Toronto Blue Jays. The 10th overall pick by the Blue Jays in 2013 out of high school did not sign despite being picked 10th overall. Here's the pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, called strike 1. 2013, they had moved up the deadline to sign guys by a lot. It's what the current deadline is, but previously you had a lot longer to sign drafted players. 0-1. Outside 1-1. And that year, some signings like Aaron Judge had gone down at the 11th hour, but the Blue Jays were not able to agree to signing with Bickford. He was the only guy in the top 30 who did not sign. 1-1 pitch outside 2-1. Toronto did get the 11th overall pick in the next draft as compensation. Picked Max Pentecost, who never made it to the major leagues. 2-1. Called strike 2-2.
And then 2 years later, Bickford ended up being the 18th pick in the first round out of the College of Southern Nevada.
Drafted by the San Francisco Giants. But he kicks and releases. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Simple mix for Bickford. Fastball in the low to mid 90s and a slider in the mid 80s. Leans forward, now comes set. Kiner-Falefa today, 1 for 1. And the 3-2 fouled off. An infield single for IKF and a pair of hit by pitches plus 2 runs scored. 8-2, the Toronto lead. Payoff pitch. Swing and a looper caught at first by Ben Rice. 2 outs. Let's go over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard quickly, where the runs just keep on coming for the Baltimore Orioles. Adley Rutschman's gone yard. Colton Cowser's gone yard. It's 10-2 for the Orioles over the Texas Rangers in the 8th. Baltimore's homered 4 times in the game. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 2 outs, bottom 6, and he swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. 8-2 Blue Jays, bases empty and 2 down. Guerrero 1 for 3 with an RBI double and a run scored. 0-1 pitch. He takes just off the plate outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Red Air Force One cleats for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1-1. Bounce back into the backstop. 2 balls, 1 strike. Shoes match the red arm sleeve for Guerrero. That's on his front left arm. 2-1 pitch. Takes inside and jerks that arm out of the way. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Bickford in the set. Kicks and delivers. And a called strike. The pitch looked a hair off the plate outside. Guerrero had already tossed the bat away. And now he's waggling a finger on his right hand. He's saying that was not a strike to home plate umpire Jeremy Rehak, but he'll have to make the long walk back to pick up his bat. It's 3-2.
Yeah, Guerrero was probably about a quarter of the way down the line, started wagging his finger, shaking his head, didn't really love that call, and I have to agree with him. That wasn't a strike.
Rehak hearing it from John Schneider, the 3-2. Swing and a towering fly ball left field. Verdugo back at the track, looking up, and that one's gone. Just out of the yard. A solo home run for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It's 9-2 Blue Jays.
Well, I think Vlad will very happily trade a walk for that home run. Just gets enough, probably out by about a foot beyond that fence in left field, just beside the Blue Jays bullpen. He'll take that. Blue Jays are up 9-2.
For Guerrero, he ties Dalton Varsho for the team lead in homers now. That's his 11th. And it's been homers galore for Vlad recently. He homered twice in Cleveland, once in the 2 games in Boston, and here to start the series against the Yankees. First pitch to Justin Turner, called strike 1. For the Blue Jays, their first run since the 2nd. It has been a loud day at Rogers Center with Toronto up 9-2. 0-1 to Turner, a hair outside. Former Red Sox evens up the count at 1-1. Bickford's pitch. Below the knees. And now Phil Bickford has fallen behind Vlad. 2 balls and 1 strike.
It actually looked like I just saw the replay of that Vlad home run, and it looked like he was shaking his head running to first base. He probably thought that he didn't quite get enough of it, and Verdugo would catch it in left field. Like I said, that thing went out by about a foot.
2-1 pitch. Called strike, 2-2. Yeah, he hit that ball way higher than you're going to see most home runs get hit. It's the highest launch angle at 42 degrees that Guerrero's had on any homer this year. 2-2 pitch outside, 3-2. Hang time of 7 seconds, which, I mean, his usually get out in a hurry. That one really took its time. Turner 1 for 2 with a single and a walk, 1 RBI. 3-2 pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Wells. Strike 3. Justin Turner goes down to end the inning, but Guerrero adds to the Blue Jay lead. A solo home run. He puts on the jacket. It's 9-2 Blue Jays going to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Jose Berrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Seventh inning in Toronto and back out on the mound for the Blue Jays. Their starter today, Jose Berrios. Thanks so much for sticking around with us. 9-2 the Blue Jays lead. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Jose Berrios kicks and delivers to Austin Wells. Called strike 1. Jose Berrios just threw his 85th pitch of this start. The Blue Jays do have Zach Pop getting loose in the left field pen. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a foul back, 0-2.
If you had to guess, how many people do you think are here? It is an incredible night.
It's a good question.
Here in Toronto.
It looks like pretty much capacity, maybe 37, 38,000. Really beautiful Thursday night, first of a 4-game set. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Berrios gets Wells on a high 4-seamer. That's the 7th strikeout today by Jose Berrios.
Yeah, he's really only made one mistake, and it wasn't even really a mistake to Trent Grisham. He just was able to stick the bat out and get it into that bullpen in left field, but Jose Berrios has looked pretty good.
His 7 Ks, his most since May 7th when he started at the Philadelphia Phillies. First pitch to Oswaldo Cabrera, misses down and away, 1-0. Berrios also looking to complete 7 innings for the first time since May 31st when he beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. 1-0. High. That's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, he just threw his 89th pitch. So he's well on his way to finishing 7 innings, but the top of that lineup is right around the corner.
2-0. Hit on the ground to short. On one bounce, picked on the backhand side by Bichette. Pumps and throws to first. Oswaldo Cabrera's retired, and there are 2 down and the bases empty for Trent Grisham. The Blue Jays split the pot 50-50. Jackpot is over $1 million now. 10 winners will split that pot. Get your tickets at bluejays.com/5050 from Ontario or Nova Scotia.
$1,039,725.
And growing. Am I wrong, or did it just change while you were talking? First pitch to Trent Grisham, called strike 1 with a backdoor slurve.
You always got to be on your toes. Now it's at $850.
And it's got some time to grow. I believe there's just under 2 weeks. Next pitch, called strike, 0-2.
10 winners will split just over $1 million. So what is that? 110,000 each?
Just over 100,000 right now. Be 103,000. Next pitch to Grisham. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. That's strike 3. Jose Berrios strikes out a pair in a 1-2-3 7th. He's got 8 Ks and gone 7 innings as we go to the stretch. It's 9-2 Blue Jays. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
Only twice a year, the TSC semi-annual sale is back. Beat the rush and save up to 60% on clearance items, including tops starting at $29.99, bottoms from $39.99, up to 50% off footwear, and dresses under $49.99, plus jewelry, accessories, and more. Don't miss big savings on clearance while quantities last at the TSC semi-annual sale. Shop now at tsc.ca. Exciting offers every day.
Hey, this is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th inning in Toronto. George Springer 3 for 3 today. A pair of homers leads off for the Blue Jays. Toronto up 9-2 on the Yankees. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Phil Bickford hits the zone with a fastball to get ahead of Springer. 0-1. George looking for his second career home run hat trick. 0-1. Swing and a miss. He reluctantly went around on a slider down and away and is quickly in an 0-2 hole.
Jose Berrios just threw 93 pitches through 7 innings. Do you think there's a chance he comes back out?
No one's up, I will say. 0-2. High, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Although perhaps Zach Pop is taking a breather.
Very possible.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Very possible. He was up and throwing. But the Blue Jays are up 9-2. 1-2 pitch. Springer fouls it back, and that's going to be catcher's interference. You could hear a double tip there. That was Springer's bat hitting the glove of Austin Wells before it hit the baseball. And Aaron Boone is saying, hey, can we hold up a second to review that? He's at least going to look back to see if their video replay coordinator wants to do anything with that. We're getting a second look in slow motion right now. It's really not debatable, and they won't challenge. No at bat for Springer. Error on Austin Wells. Leadoff base runner for the Blue Jays. Pitch to Davis Schneider. Called strike 1. Good result for the Blue Jays. Kind of bummed that we don't get the chance there to see if Springer, though, could hit a 3rd home run in the game.
Well, I bet if George Springer could give it back, he probably would have.
0-1 to Schneider. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Although there were 2 strikes on him, so you're in a hole. You're in a little bit of a hole.
Maybe you
just take it and move on to the next AB.
He doesn't have a choice anyway.
But hypothetically.
Yeah. 9-2 Blue Jays. Nobody out, bottom 7. Bickford's pitch. Fouled back, 1-2. Wanted to clarify, by the way, we're talking about the 50-50 split the pot jackpot, and I had misspoke on the deadline. The deadline is tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, so if you want a chance to split that $1 million with 9 others, 10 winners will split it. Buy now at bluejays.com/5050. 1-2 pitch is hitting the air down the right field line and slicing into the seats, out of play.
And that 50-50 has ballooned probably about $3,000.
$1,041,710 right now. And I went to go check out some of the early bird prizes. Vacation to the Rocky Mountains, August 29th to September 2nd.
Do you know what Rocky Mountains?
Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel is where you stay. That's about as nice as it gets. Next pitch to Schneider in the dirt, 2-2.
Any other ones?
Let me keep scrolling here. Two. High 3-2. Now, they gave out 10 $500 cash prizes on June 23rd. 20 City Connect jerseys will go out on June 29th.
It's a pretty sweet prize. Those are $230 a pop.
3-2 to Schneider. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He goes down for the first out of the inning. Second strikeout in the outing of Phil Bickford. You think 200 something's pretty good. How about $500 WestJet gift cards on June 30th? Fly plenty of places with a $500 gift card for WestJet. Or you could just get $500 cash on Canada Day. 25 $500 cash prizes as well. Aaron Boone goes out to the mound and lifts the reliever Phil Bickford after an inning and a third. Runner on first for the Blue Jays. 9-2 Toronto, bottom of the 7th. Jake Cousins about to come in. Let's go to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben and Chris. Let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. We are officially approaching the end of All-Star voting, and in the American League, the finalists have been unveiled. Aaron Judge was the leading vote getter in the AL, so he's officially off to Texas. Everyone else has been entered in a showdown for their respective positions. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Ryan Mountcastle are the two finalists for first base in the American League, and you can vote for Vladdy, who hit another home run today, beginning Sunday, June 30th at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, bluejays.com/vote. The NHL awards were tonight as well. You can watch the highlights on Sportsnet. The evening's biggest winners include the Avalanche's Nathan MacKinnon. He won both the Hart Trophy as the league's MVP and the Ted Lindsay Award. The Hart voting, if you're curious, went MacKinnon, Kucherov, McDavid, and Matthews. Elsewhere, Blackhawks' Connor Bedard winning the Calder Trophy for the league's top rookie. He is the youngest rookie in Blackhawks history to win it. Canucks' Quinn Hughes winning the Norris Trophy as the league's top defenseman. He's the franchise's first ever winner of the Norris Trophy. Pretty remarkable. And the Jets' Connor Hellebuck wins the Vezina as the league's top goaltender. It is the second Vezina win of his career. And some NHL news with free agency approaching on Monday. Canucks coming to terms with defenseman Tyler Myers. 3-year deal, AAV of $3 million. In a trades report, the Flames trading Andrew Mangiapane to the Capitals for a 2025 second-round pick. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Back to the Rogers Center we go. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. The righty Jake Cousins called up today by the Yankees will make his third appearance of the season. He enters with Dalton Varsho at the plate, George Springer on first, one out in the bottom of the 7th, and a 9-2 Blue Jay lead. Cousins from the third base side of the rubber, kicks and releases. First pitch strike, 0-1.
Well, if you're Dalton Varsho, this is a welcome pitching change, that's for sure. 0 for 3 with 2 punchies against Carlos Rodon today.
First time Varsho sees a right-handed pitcher who kicks and releases. Swing and a miss. Out in front of the slower breaking ball there at 81. That was the slider from Cousins. It's 0-2. Springer held on by Ben Rice at first. 0-2 pitch is hit foul off to the left. Bounce near the on-deck circle and off the backstop. Alejandro Kirk, the on-deck hitter, picks it up.
Cousins was a 20th round pick in 2017 by the Washington Nationals out of the University of Pennsylvania. Probably a pretty smart guy.
It's a pretty good school. 0-2. High, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitched 3 years, the last 3 with the Milwaukee Brewers. Cousins in his first year with the Yankees. He was with the Yankees when the Blue Jays first saw New York in early April, but has been down in the minors since. 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Speaking of relievers, Zach Pop and Bowden Francis both getting loose for the Blue Jays in left field. Pop's been up for a while. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Back foot slider gets Varsho, and that's the second out of the inning.
I'll tell you what, that slider from Cousins right there was nasty.
Second time that Cousins is seeing the Blue Jays. Last time he pitched in the majors on April 7th, it was against the Blue Jays. He pitched a scoreless inning, or rather he gave up 1 run, but it wasn't earned. 2 hits and 2 walks in 1 inning of work. His pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Check swing, pitch outside. Kirk started the hands but holds back. 1-0. 9-2 Blue Jays, bottom of the 7th. Springer on first. 2 outs. And the wave is starting to circulate at Rogers Center, at least in the 500 level, as the next one's bounced. 2 balls, no strikes.
Does it count if it's not every single level? In your book?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to litigate the wave. I feel like that opens me up to a lot of scrutiny. I'm going to say they all count. But yeah, it is just a 500 level wave right now. 2-0. Check swing again, pitch inside, 3 balls, no strikes.
Do you have to preface it with it's a 500 level wave, or can you just say it's a wave?
I haven't thought about it before. I don't know. 3-0. Call it strike 3 and 1.
Well, don't think too hard. I was just half kidding.
Well, I kind of said both. That's what's got me crossed up. (3-1). Kirk swings and hits a flare to right field. Soto racing in, makes the catch, and ends the inning. George Springer on to lead off. The Fremont catcher's interference is left on first. The Blue Jays go to the 8th, leading 9-2. Stick around. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
SiriusXM Fight Nation is hitting the road with a stop in Las Vegas for International Fight Week. Beginning June 27th at 12 Eastern, SiriusXM Fight Nation will broadcast live from UFC X all week long ahead of UFC 303. Catch MMA Today and more special programming direct from Sin City.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Your home for the best UFC 303 coverage is SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the SiriusXM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like 5-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your home for free agency is NBA Radio. We're breaking down all the transactions all week long on Channel 86 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center, top of the 8th inning. The sky is starting to darken up, but it's still bright down on the field as Toronto leads 9-2 over the New York Yankees. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, new pitcher into the game for the Blue Jays. The righty from Brampton, Zach Pop, takes over in the 8th inning. Top of the order for New York starts with Anthony Volpe, Juan Soto, and Aaron Judge will hit this inning as well. Pop's 26th appearance of the year, and earned run average just a couple ticks below 5. First pitch. Sinker on the inside edge. 0-1. Sinker, cutter, slider for Zach Pop. His 0-1. Goes with the slider, misses down and away.
Well, before this inning started, both Bowden Francis and Zach Pop were warming up in that Blue Jays bullpen. I wonder if Bowden looked at who was coming up this inning and he was like, "Nah, Zach, you take it. You take it, man. You deserve it."
Although Volpe, the only one of the three with the hit so far, he bounces it to short where his counterpart Bichette fields it, throws to first. One down. Not that you'd ever look at these matchups favorably, but here comes Juan Soto, who's 0 for 3 with a pop-up in foul territory and 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, he hasn't looked very comfortable today, but then again, Jose Berrios was very, very good tonight, especially the off-speed stuff.
Berrios' day done. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks. He hit a batter, and he struck out a season-high 8. Right on left, the pitch to Soto. Sinker outside, 1-0. Soto batting an even 300 now. 1-0. Outside, 2-0. And it's a crisis, Chris. His OPS has dropped below 1 dot something. It's at 992.
He just lost about $500,000 on that next contract.
2-0. Called strike. Right down the middle there with the cutter. It's a pitch he started to work in more and more. Buckles Soto to make it 2-1.
I think that cutter is going to be very important for him. Get something that moves the other way, moves glove side.
2-1. Swinging a foul back on the sinker. And the count's even at 2-2. He's done it to everyone, but Soto has victimized the Blue Jays in his career. Just haven't really seen it a ton today. 2-2. At the back foot. Bounces to make it a full count. It's a guy with a .289 average and 7 extra base hits, 16 walks in 14 games against the Blue Jays. Coming into this one, he'll ask for time. World Series champion with the 2019 Washington Nationals. Now on his 3rd team on the precipice of free agency. 3-2 pitch. Check swing. Pitch was high. Ball 4. Appeal down to 30. Didn't go around. So Soto will get aboard for the first time today. He's on with a walk. And here's Aaron Judge.
And that's what you don't want to do right there. You want to at least make him swing the bat there, especially with Aaron Judge coming up next.
Again, you never take them lightly at all. But another very un-Judge-like game for Judge as well. One of very few recently. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. First pitch from Pop. Fastball over the heart of the plate, strike 1.
I think the biggest thing in this at bat is don't leave that sinker up. The one that just moves horizontally. You want to get that sinker that has good depth to it.
0-1 pitch hit on the ground, foul. 0-2. That was the slider, but at the bottom of the zone. Californian Aaron Judge will take a quick step out of the box before hopping back in. Right-handed hitter taps the plate once and pinwheels the bat. 0-2 the pitch. Bounce the slider down and away. Speaking of California, where you spend a lot of time as well, obviously big news today on the St. Louis Bar and Grill Out of Town scoreboard as LeBron James Jr. was drafted by the LA Lakers. 1-2, low, 2-2.
I didn't know it was possible, but Lakers tickets just got more expensive.
Oh my goodness. And South Bay Lakers tickets just got really expensive in the G League as well, I'll tell you that.
I just go to Clippers games because it's like $150 for a ticket.
I'd probably do the same. Go see Kawhi Leonard. 2-2 pitch, cut on and miss, strike 3. Pop strikes out Judge on a sinker down and in, and there are 2 outs.
That was a nasty sinker right there on the inside part, just slides right under the bat of Aaron Judge, and that's why I said you don't want to leave that sinker up and it has more horizontal movement. When he gets on top of that sinker, it has more of the downward movement, and right there it just goes right underneath the bat of Aaron Judge.
First pitch to Alex Verdugo, inside, 1-0.
What do you think about that, about Bronny James getting drafted?
I mean, it's not the most shocking piece of news I've ever heard, I'll be honest, but it's exciting. I think it's pretty cool. 1-0 pitch to Verdugo, called strike one. Raptors, by the way, had the first pick of the second round. They took Jonathan Mogbo out of the University of San Francisco. The Dons, who have a pretty good history of centers, including the great Bill Russell. 1-1. Fouled off, 1-2. Also Bill Cartwright, who played on some of the Jordan Bulls teams, who's a center out of San Francisco. Now the Raptors go with Mogbo, another Dons center.
I don't think I asked you about Zach Edey. You're a big Zach Edey fan, and you know a lot about him. Are you disappointed that the Raptors didn't get a chance to draft him?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm happy for him. You know, he ends up going a lot higher than I frankly thought he would have gone. Cool to see another Canadian player in the top 10. 1-2. Verdugo foul tips it into the glove. Strike three. A pair of strikeouts for Pop in a scoreless eighth. We go to the bottom half of the eighth inning. Toronto up 9-2. Stick around. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman is on the mound, you hear a lot of pops at Rogers Center. The pop of the ball hitting the catcher's mitt. The pop of the crowd as they cheer on another Gausman strikeout. But most importantly for Goss, the pop of his bubble gum.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the splitter again. One of the best at his craft.
Gausman loves his gum. So be one of the first 15,000 fans on Wednesday, July 3rd and get your Kevin Gausman bubblegum bobblehead. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
We're two men and a truck. So, you're moving to a new home, and all that's left to do is to call a mover you know you can trust. Well, naturally, you think two men and a truck, since you know they have lots of men and lots of trucks. They'll wrap, pack, and move everything you own. With a 96% referral rating and the professionalism you can trust, the choice is simple. For a free in-home estimate, call today. We're two men and a truck.
Two men and a truck, the movers who care.
This is the best I've ever seen.
The competition's heating up on America's Got Talent. Heart-pumping performances.
This season, everything is 10 times better.
And must-see moments.
You absolutely nailed it.
It was incredible.
The word is epic.
With $1 million dream on the line.
You've got a real shot at winning after that.
America's Got Talent. All new Tuesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream it on City TV Plus.
This is Jordan Romano, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Home half of the eighth inning in downtown Toronto. Blue Jays leading the Yankees 9-2. Here's Ernie Clement. First pitch from Jake Cousins, called strike one. Thanks so much for sticking with us tonight. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Clement 1 for 3 today, singled in the first inning. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Bowden Francis warming up for the Blue Jays in left field, presumably for the ninth. 0-2. Bounced down and away. Cousins takes a second off the mound, now steps onto the third base side of the rubber. White cleats for the righty. His pitch to Clement. Swing and a miss, strike three. Got him to wave at a slider down and away. And that's the second Cousins strikeout of his outing, now in one total inning pitched.
I'll tell you what, Cousins has some good stuff. Good fastball, 94, 95. And then, like I said last inning, that big slider that he got Ernie Clement to wave at. But his big league numbers are pretty good. 54 games, just over a 3 ERA.
And this Yankees team has struggled in the pen over the last couple weeks. First pitch to Bo Bichette. Swing and a miss on that slider. 0-1. Talking to Emmanuel Barbari and Ricky Ricardo on WFAN Yankees radio. They said there's some spots open, frankly. I mean, this pen is searching for guys. They have a couple injuries. 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. And they don't have that many guys right now that are in established roles. Of course, you got Clay Holmes. I think they've liked the contributions of Luke Weaver, Tommy Kahnle. 0-2 pitch, bounced, 1-2. But between injuries and inconsistency, there's a lot of space for guys to make their way into a regular spot for the Yankees.
Well, there's some space all over this roster.
Yankees are dealing with a lot of injuries, and they've gone through it a little bit. Barring a very large ninth-inning comeback, they would drop their 10th in the last 13. 1-2. Fouled off to the right. And on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, Baltimore has won. So if the Yankees lose today and the Blue Jays are up 9-2 in the bottom of the 8th, the AL East is at a tie between the Yankees and the Orioles, with the Orioles actually having a slight edge on win percentage.
How do you think Yankees fans are feeling right now? Do you think they're relatively comfortable at 52-30, or do you think they're feeling a little bit uneasy?
I think they're uneasy in the best of times. 1-2 pitch is hit in the air, center field. Going back, Grisham makes the catch. 2 down. I mean, I'm there in the Aaron Boone media scrum before the game. And obviously, you can't ignore the fact they've lost 9 of 12. But if you didn't know what their record was, you would think this team is way below with, Glaber's out of the lineup. How long does he have to stay out until he gets going? What's going on with the bullpen? Obviously, they've had a tough stretch. But like you said, they're 22 games over 500 right now before the All-Star break. First pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. High and tight, ball 1. But at the same time, they are a team that wants to, a fan base at least it seems, that wants to dominate, not just be in the mix. 1-0 pitch to Kiner-Falefa, called strike 1, and you can understand why with the 27 titles that they have back in the trophy case. IKF, the 2-year Yankee, knows a lot about that. 1-1. Outside, 2-1. I mean, you spent time with the Yankees in your career, more time with Pittsburgh and Florida, but...
Well, don't blink if you're talking about my time with the Yankees.
I'd imagine it's felt different, albeit it was brief. As Kiner-Falefa gets hit with the pitch, 3rd time he's been hit in the game. None of them intentional, but that's not a fun day. He's down to first. But I can imagine it feels a bit different to be with the Yankees than other teams. I don't know.
Well, the one thing that's different about being, and I guess it's a little different this year because there's not that many future Hall of Famers on the roster. But when I walked into that spring training dressing room clubhouse, I felt like I didn't belong because there were names all up and down that roster. My locker mate was Ichiro Suzuki. It was absolutely insane.
Vladdy swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. So let me see. So Teixeira.
Yep.
A-Rod?
Yep.
Jeter?
Yep.
Cano's not there anymore. Soriano.
Suzuki. CC Sabathia.
No longer Pettit, right? He wasn't
there. He's a special assistant, though.
0-1 pitch, hit on the ground up the middle softly, fielded at second by Jones, throws over to first, and ends the inning. A hit by pitch with 2 outs. Kiner-Falefa left on base, and we go to the 9th. Blue Jays up 9-2 in this series opener over the Yankees. Bowden Francis looks to lock up the win for Toronto next. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hey, it's Andy Richter, here to tell you about the Andy Richter Call-In Show. Each week, I'll be inviting callers to weigh in on important questions like, have you ever seen a ghost? What's the worst job you've ever had? What's the worst date you've ever been on? Along the way, I'll be joined by my favorite comedians and friends. Check out the Andy Richter Call-In Show. New episodes each Wednesday at 4 p.m. East and West, with replays throughout the week on Conan O'Brien Radio. The show will also be available on demand in the SiriusXM app whenever you want. Just search Andy Richter.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Hi, I'm Ozzie Smith, and my road to Cooperstown was paved in yellow gold.
This is John Paul Morosi. Coming up on the next episode of the new SiriusXM podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith.
When you're a small guy, you got to prove your worth over and over again because you're always hearing that negative, even after you accomplish.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
Blue Jays fans, no matter where you are, you won't miss a pitch with the SiriusXM app. Hear every game all season long. Download the SiriusXM app and search Blue Jays.
And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Top of the ninth inning. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays up 9-2 on the New York Yankees. Couple substitutions for Toronto that we'll get to in a second, but the most important one, Bowden Francis on the mound here. He faces off with the rookie first baseman, Ben Rice. First pitch, high, 1-0.
And all of a sudden, it's the Buffalo Bisons versus the New York Yankees.
Toronto has emptied its bench. 1-0. Called strike at the knees. In right field now, Addison Barger in the place of George Springer. Spencer Horwitz has come into the game. He's playing first instead of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 1-1. Check swing. Peel down to 30. Did not go around on the pitch. It was low. 2-1. Kevin Kiermaier was on the bench today. He told me today that he was hoping to come in as a defensive replacement. He does. He will play center field. Dalton Varsho is out of the game. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Huge hack by Rice. That makes it 2-2.
He probably wasn't talking about a 9-2 ball game, though.
I don't think so, but he said we'd be winning if I came in. Pardon me, Varsho is still in the game. He's in left field. But Kiermaier in center. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Francis strikes out Rice. One down. So you got Barger in right. Horwitz at first. Kiermaier into center. Varsho in left. Schneider moves from left to second base. IKF moves from second to short because Bo Bichette is out of the game as well. So other than Danny Jansen, the Blue Jays use their entire bench here, get some guys a little bit of rest. Here's Jahmai Jones now with one out, bases empty. First pitch to Jones is hit on the ground sharply to third, off the glove of Clement, picks it up on the bounce, throw to first, just late. And Jones is safe at first base. Ernie tried to recover, barehanding it off a bounce after it hit his glove on a high hop. But he skipped the throw over to first, and Jones was chugging it out of the box the entire way.
That was actually a pretty nice play from Ernie Clement. Bobbled the ball, bounced off to his right, and he stabbed at it with his bare hand and actually caught it and made a nice throw to first base, but not in time.
They won't hold on the runner up first with the Blue Jays up 9-2. Austin Wells takes strike one. Toronto took control of this game pretty early. By the way, a hit credited to Jones. Toronto scored 5 runs in the first inning. All 5 of the first 5 hitters reached in the first. George Springer hit a 3-run homer to really blow it open against Carlos Rodon. 0-1 pitch outside, 1-1. Springer came up again in the second after a hit by pitch and a walk. He hit a second 3-run homer in as many innings. Blue Jays would add on another run on a Guerrero solo shot. Vlad's driven in 2 today as well. Next pitch to Austin Wells, high, 2-1. Jose Berrios was dominant as the starter for the Blue Jays. He went 7 innings today, allowed only 2 runs, struck out a season-high 8. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball hits the knees to even up the count at 2-2.
George Springer had a hand in 8 of the runs today. If I told you that before the game, would you have believed me?
I don't think I would have believed you with anyone having a hand in that much scoring. 2-2 pitch outside, 3-2.
6 RBIs, 2 runs scored.
Although it's kind of like, it's a little redundant because 2 of those RBIs are also the runs scored. So he technically has a hand in 6.
Sure.
3-2. Swing and a fly ball hit high but shallow to right. Barger is sprinting in. Schneider, the second baseman, called off by Barger, and the catch is made. Long run for the new right fielder, almost into the infield. He makes the catch, and now there are 2 down.
It almost seemed like David Schneider should have caught that baseball.
Perhaps the Blue Jays take an extra care after a ball was dropped in shallow right a couple of games ago. Toronto up 9-2, 2 outs, runner on first, top of the 9th. Infield plays back, no hold on the runner at first. Jahmai Jones, the pitch to Oswaldo Cabrera, called strike 1. Jones will take second on defensive indifference. Francis in the set. And the 0-1. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2. Yankees are down to their final strike. Most of the 38,000 strong still here and on their feet. Francis looks at second, kicks and delivers. Misses outside with a breaking ball, 1-2. They get loud again at Rogers Center. The 1-2. Outside with a fastball, or make that the slider, pardon me. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Francis palms up the ball, sets up the split grip, and steps on the rubber. Louder with each pitch. 2 outs. Runner on second. 2-2. Swing and a pop-up. Back of home plate. And down into the seats, out of play. An 8-game homestand that could make or break the season. And Toronto leading 9-2 in the 9th in game 1. 2-2 pitch. Popped up, third base side foul. Long run Clement. Settling under it, he makes the catch, and the Blue Jays win the game. 9-2 is the final score. Toronto dominates the New York Yankees in Game 1 of this 4-game series.
Well, like you said, the start of an 8-game homestand that could make or break this season for the Toronto Blue Jays. 4 against the Yankees, 4 against the Astros. And the Blue Jays started on a winning note. Jose Berrios was incredible tonight. George Springer, Vlad. This was a complete team effort, one of the best wins of the season, and a very important first win.
Toronto wins 9-2. They're high-fiving out in the middle of the diamond right now. We'll take a quick step aside and come back to wrap this one up, give you your play or player of the game, and send you over to a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. Stick around. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
We're 2 men in a truck, the movers who care. You never know when cardiac arrest can happen. That's why each and every one of our trucks carries a life-saving Mikey defibrillator as part of our Mikey on Board program. Whether we're on the highway or in front of your house, we're prepared to help anyone whose heart may skip a beat. The Mikey Network has saved many lives, making Mikey's accessible to the public. And now they're on board our trucks. We're 2 men in a truck.
2 men and a truck, the movers who care.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
Our core values: equality, respect, the pursuit of greatness. Through and through, this is who we are.
Be at the ballpark to experience a proud tradition. Canada Day, Monday, July 1st. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays Canadian tuxedo hat giveaway. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Proud to the core. Canadian to the core. Blue Jays to the core.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He keeps this game tied
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees in the series opener 9-2. I've now won a pair of games in a row. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, I'm just going to cut to the chase right here. The Blue Jays jumped on the Yankees early, and we're going to jump on this one early. Toronto scoring 8 runs in the first 2 innings of this game, 6 of them driven in by today's player of the game. It's George Springer. 1-2. Swing and a drive. Deep left field. That one's way back, and that ball is gone. A second deck shot for George Springer, and the Blue Jays are up 5-0 before an out's been recorded. 1-0. Swing and a fly ball left center, and George Springer has done it again. That one into the WestJet flight deck. It's a 2-homer game for Springer. He has 6 RBIs in 2 innings. 8-0 Blue Jays. Making home run 250 for Springer, and he got it with an exclamation point. 434 feet.
Well, I don't know what happened to the highlight of IKF getting hit 3 times tonight, but that's a little bit disappointing. But George Springer, his first home run, he got underneath it a little bit. He got it, but he got underneath it a little bit. But his second home run was probably his most fluid swing of the season. It was a fastball right down the middle, and he got it like he hasn't this season. I think that he'll tell you that was probably his best swing of the season. But George Springer came up later in the ballgame and hit another base hit up the middle. This was his best game of the season. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell that he's seeing the ball well. He's not trying to do too much with balls that he gets over the middle of the plate. And his last 2 games will tell you that is a fact.
Before 3 days ago, because the Blue Jays had the suspended game yesterday, Springer had 1 3-hit game this year. He's had back-to-back 3-hit games with 3 homers in those 2 games combined. He was great, and so was the Blue Jays offense today, but they also needed a good pitching performance, and Jose Berrios went 7, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, hit a batter, and struck out a season-high 8.
Well, he was incredible. We said before the game that he needed to locate that sinker, command the sinker, and then really get that changeup working, and he did exactly that. We really didn't see the slurve early on in this ball game. He was focusing on that slider, or that sinker, and then that changeup, and both of those pitches were working to perfection early on in this ball game.
Berrios picks up the win to go to 7-6. It's a loss for Carlos Rodon. He is now 9-5. The Yankees managed just 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, 5 left. For the Blue Jays, 9 runs on 11 hits, no errors, 6 left, 5 for 9 with runners in scoring position. By the way, Vlad would hit a home run as well later in the game to tie the team lead with 11. The game took 2 hours and 32 minutes in front of a crowd of over 36,000 at Rogers Center, and we're expecting just as big, if not a larger crowd tomorrow for another 7:07 scheduled first pitch. Former Blue Jay Marcus Stroman pitches at Rogers Center for the second time this year. Yusei Kikuchi looks to bounce back against a team he's pitched very well against in his career. The New York Yankees in Toronto tries to ensure, at a minimum, a split in the 4-game series. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's game broadcast. For our technical directors, Stephen Coyle and Tristan Marcagiani. For our host and producer, Show Ali, my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Hope to see you tomorrow and get your thoughts heard on a winning edition, because Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
Timing of the lower half. To hit 96 twice and 97, you got to be looking for it. That's the only way you're going to hit it. You ain't going to hit it looking for a breaking ball, adjusting to 97. You got to go up there and look for it. He looked for it 3 times, Jeff. 3 times. He's calibrating it his first bat because he got 4 of them. And the 4th one, he hit to the moon. That's how you do it, buddy. Like, you got to go up and look for it. Last week, he's had good direction. He's been on time for the fastball. You chase the curveball a lot of the times because you're looking for it. He's hitting 165 off the breaking ball, 150 off the off speed. Every once in a while, all you got to do is go a little old school. What you hitting off of certain pitches? If I know like you a couple, I don't look for them anymore. Baseball 101, buddy. Got nothing to do with khakis. You're welcome.
Wow. I mean, you're coming in hot.
Well, I knew you was going to ask me this, so I wrote it all down.
Of course you did. I know you did. 416-870-0590. It's not my first rodeo. Star 591, 888-666-0590. It is a winning edition of Blue Jays Talk. The Blue Jays 9-2. They have beaten the New York Yankees, the first of a 4-game series. And Kevin, you know, so much of the talk today was about the short-term and long-term future of this team. Let's face it, it has not been a great year for the Blue Jays. Ross Atkins did the rounds today, did his media availabilities today. Most of the questions were about Vladdy, Bo, the future, John Schneider's job status, his job status, Mark Shapiro's job status. I mean, they were the type of questions you generally get on October 2nd after you've missed the playoffs. Not usually, not in this city at least, on June 27th. So having said all that, Jose Berrios comes out, 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 runs allowed. Probably not the most dominant we've seen him this year. First pitch strikes were so-so. Mm-hmm. But if you wanted a guy on the mound on one of those days, because this was one of those days for the Blue Jays and Blue Jays fans, Jose Berrios would be the guy I would think you want out there. Just going about his business, getting it done.
Absolutely. Well, scoring first helps, right? And coming into the game, you're thinking to yourself, how do I get Soto and Judge out? How do I not let them 2 guys beat you? They were 0 for 6 off Berrios. That's a big deal, right? The lefties he's been facing in his last 5 starts. Baltimore, the Brewers, the Guardians, twice, the Yankees. All got a bunch of lefties, right? That means you got to be good arm side with 2 different fastballs, right? A couple of them games he's throwing more four-seamers than he was sinker. He's a sinker slurve guy. Sometimes when you got to go outside the box and sort of manipulate the different movement on the slurve, right? Make it look more like a curveball than a slurve because you're facing a lot of lefties. You got to use now your four-seamer more than your sinker. You start losing a little bit of your lanes. You start losing a little bit of your release point. You leave balls down the middle. That's why he's been giving up the homers. Tonight, he went to his strength with his 2 fastballs, and he was locating them. And for the most part, he didn't miss with it. I think that's the key, right? And now the changeup. When the changeup's down, he's got that tunneling. It's got the nice little variance in speeds between the 2 fastballs. He's a really good pitcher. It's just all the lefties he's faced, Jeff, in June, with all them different teams, all them good teams, right? They got balanced lineups. You got to work quadrants. Sometimes you miss. Sometimes you try and be too fine with the fastball, and that's sort of what's been happening. And I wasn't. I think he got the lead. He attacked more because he had the lead. That's a huge deal. Everybody we've talked to said, get him the lead. They'll go after people. They're really good. Most of the time, you're going to win those games. Berrios is no different. So I think that's the difference. Score first. The 2 fastball commands are much better. That way, he doesn't have to manipulate, break, spin on the slurve. He can just throw it the way he wants to throw it, and then the good changeup down. That's the equalizer. So it's just exactly what the doctor ordered, buddy.
As always, the numbers to call are 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-866-0590. You want to talk about Jose Berrios, George Springer. You want to talk about Ross Atkins and his media availabilities today. I mean, people always want to talk about that. I mean, that's basically all we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Maybe you want to talk about the Yankees. Yankees have some issues, Kevin. They're coming in. They were 2-8 in their last 10. I believe they're now tied with the Orioles for first place. I think the Orioles won tonight. They were 2-8 in their last 10, coming off a series against the Mets, where the Mets kind of took them to the woodshed a little bit. Yeah. When you look at the lineup today, I mean, Judge and Soto are scary. But after that, I mean, I see a lot of 261s, 209s, 238s.
It ain't really got a first baseman, ain't really got a second baseman. The third baseman struggling. Like, they got some everyday guys, right? The lineup doesn't have as much length as we thought it would. That's what I said. If you're Berrios, you're thinking, I get the lead, I can pound, I can make my quality pitches against them two behemoths in the middle of the order. I get them two dudes out. It should be cruise control, and that's exactly what it was. So, again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We said this today on our show. It's even good teams go through these. It's just you got to ride them out. You got to, work your way through it. And the pitching, I think, is something the Yankees got to lean on. When they ain't got the pitching, it sort of shows the weaknesses in their everyday guys. And right now, that's sort of showing up. And let's face it, the Mets are hot. And right now, the Blue Jays ain't got nothing to lose. So, sometimes that don't bode well for a team that's really good. And right now, the Yankees are going through it. So I'm sure they'll figure it out. I'm sure Cashman will go out and make the moves he's supposed to make. And they'll be right there at the end of the season where they're supposed to be.
Now, the Jays had 5 runs across the plate before the first out of the game. They had batted around again. That's the second time in as many days. Of course, the final game in that Boston series was suspended due to rain. What'd you see from Carlos Rodon today? Or what
I think the Blue Jays,
see from him?
I think they had a good approach. I think they were looking fastball. Like, why would you ever go up against a lefty who throws that hard and look anything other than a fastball, Jeff? Like, again, you got to calibrate. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks now. You got to get the foot down early. You want to maximize 3 things as a hitter, right? It's your torque, your balance, and your bat speed. And the only way you do that should be on time with your front foot and your hands. When those 2 things are on time, it maximizes those 3 things I just mentioned. And that's sort of, I think, these innings early, the last couple of games, is what the Blue Jays are doing. What they were doing and preaching wasn't working. Now you got to mix it up and try something different. It just looks to me like a lineup 1 through 9 is going up sitting velocity. And it's not because they can't. It's just because, for me anyway, they haven't been, and that's a big difference. So hopefully, again, these certain guys that are doing this can continue to do it and do it early. Jeff, you can just see it on the pitcher's face when they score in the first inning or the third inning, how easy it is just to go out there and attack. I give up a hit, I give up a homer, so what? It's 9-2 or 5-0. So that's how you do it right. Is you got to simplify your approach because, obviously what they were doing hasn't been working.
Of Vladdy's last 11 hits, what are we at now? We're at 8 of them have been for extra bases, 3 home runs, 3 doubles, and a couple of singles mixed in there. The same thing we've seen from Vladdy in the past couple of games. We saw tonight as well. The same finish, the same. You've talked about the lower half of his body. Are you seeing all that stuff again tonight? Like, can we say, has Vladdy come out of this, Kevin? Has Vladdy come out of this?
Yeah, I think consistently, if he swings at a strike, because he is crap in talent, it is like, dude, he just can't walk around without showing off a little bit with the way he does things offensively and just the bat speed and point of contact for him is huge because of the bat path, right? It is, you got to catch things out in front of the front leg, right? Right in front of the front knee is where everything's got to get frisky, and all that stuff that takes place before his foot actually hits the ground is a lot of timing. And I just think the last 2.5 weeks, things been on point. And you're seeing no matter how hard they throw it, he can beat them to the spot if he's swinging at a strike. That is key there. You have talent like nobody business. Now it's just refining what you don't swing at. If you can control that, Jeff, man alive, like it is just, it's sky's the limit. So hopefully he can do that again, and maybe George can continue to do that thing, and maybe Bo will turn the corner and maybe not be quite as aggressive, looking at a certain quadrant till you get to 2 strikes and in battle. And if those 3 guys can get a hot all at the same time, who knows, Jeff?
Yeah, we also had I thought a rather funny moment. I think it was the 5th inning where Aaron Boone came out to talk to Carlos Rodon, and Phil Bickford came running in from the bullpen and said, "No, we're not making that move yet." I mean, clearly, Aaron Boone went. I'm sure Aaron Boone went out to Carlos Rodon and said, "Look, we just get us through this inning. Let's get this done, and then go on from there." Or do you think, did Rodon talk him into leaving him in?
I'm sure he said, "Yeah, I got 100 pitches. Let me throw 100 pitches." Don't yell. You know, they know where they were at last night. They got their tails whipped. They got their tails whipped the last couple of nights. They've used their bullpen probably when they didn't want to use it as much. You know, Rodon gotten off to the slow little start there in the first inning, used up a bunch of pitches. Right? I mean, he was better after the first inning, you know, and again, I just think that's sort of a veteran move where, you know, Skip, I know what we're doing here. Let me wear this one for another inning. I can get us through this, and hopefully this will help us going forward. So, yeah, sometimes I think you got to have good communication with your players, and Boone's got it.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. The Jays emerging victorious, the first game of a 4-game series against the New York Yankees. Old friend Marcus Stroman takes the mound for the Yankees tomorrow against Yusei Kikuchi. There'll be a ton of eyes, I would imagine, on Yusei Kikuchi because he generally pitches well against the Yankees. And, everything we've talked about today, if you're a playoff team and you've got eyes faced on possibly facing the Yankees at some point, you may want a guy who's had a track record of success against him. Gary in Vancouver, you're on Blue Jays Talk. Thanks for your patience, man.
Is that me?
No, it's Jeff. You're you.
Jeff, and just between you and I, and the rest of your listeners, I'm going to put a bit of a damper on this whole thing. I listened to it. George Springer had a great game, but that does not mean very much considering how bad of a year he's had. I like the guy, but I was listening to your program at between 1 and 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time today, and I heard Atkins' interview. I don't care what he said. He's made 3 or 4, maybe 5 trades that have been absolutely terrible. Teoscar Hernandez is now playing for the Dodgers, and he's having a terrific year.
He's probably going to go to the All-Star game.
Thank you, and I'm going to say this: he is dismantled the entire team, and he's talking like a lawyer. Goodbye. Get somebody. I'm not talking about Schneider's fine, but the general manager. I'm not talking about my dad firing people or anything else. I'm just saying this: a bad team wins 9-2, and then they lose a couple. They win a couple. This is not a good team. We also played the Yankees are injury plagued right now. So come on, let's get real. We won 9-2.
Yeah, but you've got to be happy with a 9-2 win, Gary. Come on, you got to be happy with it.
Happy with where are we located right now? Are we something called the basement? When we are 3 or 4 games above 500. I'll think about it, but right now, no thanks. I'll watch it, but that's it. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate the call as long as you're watching it.
Hear, hear.
I mean, look, we had our chat with Ross Atkins. Ross Atkins did his media availability today. Kevin, I think it's pretty clear, and you heard it. You heard it. Ben and Chris both talking about it on the radio broadcast today, and I know Joe and Dan talked about it on the telecast as well, and they talked about it on Blue Jay Central. I mean, this is a big series for this team. I don't think anybody, even if the Jays were to sweep the Yankees, I don't think anybody's going to sit there and necessarily mean they're out of the woods. But you got the Yankees in Houston. And you really got the sense today from hearing Ross talk that they've, they're starting. Reality has started to bite these guys a little bit. I think this is the first time that I kind of got that impression that they're preparing for, the inevitability that this isn't going to work out. That this team is going to need to either be torn down or some sort of retooling, rebuild, whatever phrase. I mean, Ross had the idea that there's three paths, right? Hold. He didn't say this, but it was sort of suggesting sell, buy, or hold on to what you have. I still think at the end of the day they're more likely to hold. That's just me. But look, it's and Ross had to say it's a big series. I mean, as I said, even if they sweep, they're not out of the woods. But, you look around baseball, and by my count, there have been 6 teams this year that we thought were dead and buried. And all of them are back in the playoff race right now because that's what the wild card has wrought. There have been a lot of cities where they were ready to pack it in, and they look at it now, and oh, my God, we're like a game and a half out of the wild card. So let's just see where this thing goes in the next couple of days. You get, the Yankees are a team that's in front of you. Houston's a team that's in front of you. Let's just see where this thing goes in the next couple of days, I think, before we jump off the deep end.
Yeah, it sounds to me like that Ross in the front office has basically tried everything they know to try. I think, at least for me anyway, that's what it sounds like. And now it's up for the superstars that they call superstars in the lineup to show up, just like the teams you just mentioned have showed up.
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. Let's hear the skipper, John Schneider, on George Springer's big night, 6 RBI, 2 home runs.
George will be the first one to tell you, it's been a rough go. And, to his credit, continuing to work, adjusting some things in his work, and then just having the conversations that not everyone gets to hear that we have every single day leads you to believe that he's turned the corner a little bit. So, again, we're talking about a really, really good player. So, today was a good day. Boston was a good day, and you got to do it again tomorrow. I really just think that there's been, again, a lot of things that people don't get to see or hear every single day that we do that have led me to say the things I have the last couple weeks, and really good night from him.
That is John Schneider. I will say this. John Schneider said about a week ago that he thought George Springer was turning the corner. And quite frankly, I think, Kevin, both you and I looked at each other and went, okay. And it was clearly the manager having his players back. But if George Springer has turned a corner, John Schneider gets credit for being the first guy to point that out.
Jeff, I think every really good hitter at the big league level should be able to hit the fastball. That's where this thing starts, right? I mean, at least to me anyway, and the people that I've talked to, he's a big educated guesser. Like, he goes up and tries to guess a lot. Numbers will say this year they ain't working. Look for the old good number 1 that's straight in your zone. Put your best A swing on it you can put on it and see where it lies. And I think that's what John is talking about, and hopefully they continue to do that, and it plays out the way everybody wants it to play out.
416-870-0590, 888-666-0590, star 590. This is Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. We'll be back on the other side.
Hi, I'm Buck Martinez, live from the showdown between Pizza and inflation. First to the plate, Pizza's big hitter, fixed rate pizza. An extra large 4-topping pizza for a fixed price of $17.99 until the end of 2024. I dare say, folks, inflation stands no chance against this all-star. Here's the delivery. And inflation strikes out. That's a swing and a drive for fixed rate pizza. Lock in yours today.
Order pizza.ca.
We're 2menintruck.ca. We've got lots of men and lots of trucks, so get ready to be moved.
Think 2menintruck.ca. So when you gotta move, all moving day. Think 2menintruck.ca. Cause all of us movers are not the same. So that's our company name, 2menintruck.ca. We're lots of men with lots of trucks, so give us a call today.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Don't pay for 12 months on the Timber Mart deferred payment program. Your locally owned, completely Canadian hub of building and renovation expertise. Get your Timber Mart credit card at participating locations and pay later. 12 months later. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face. Come and meet Ace and run base to base. Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Sundays are for Junior J's, and with all kinds of cool new games and activities in the exciting outfield district areas, there's no end to the family fun you'll have.
If you're feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle.
Did you know your vehicle rusts faster in warm weather? Protect your vehicle today. For a special summer offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Bring it in, Canada. When it comes to small business, Desjardins is a big fan. And not just the hop on the bandwagon fan. We're the in it for the long haul fan. The fan that's been there from the start. That's why Desjardins awarded 150 entrepreneurs with Good Spark grants worth $20,000 each. Because like any fan, there's nothing we love more than celebrating a goal!
See how Desjardins is cheering on small business at goodsparkgrants.ca.
Hey, this is Kevin Gosman. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
That's pretty much what the doctor ordered. We've spent a lot of time talking about that this year. This team's inability to score runs in the first inning. And tonight it was, that was impressive. It was like a whirlwind right out of the gate for Carlos Rodon. And really never, I don't think really got the sense that he righted the ship probably until the third inning. They added on 3 more runs in the second on another home run by George Springer. And Springer with 6 RBI in 2 innings, which is pretty good work.
About time.
Chris in Edmonton, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, nice to talk
Hey, Chris,
to you, Blair,
what's up?
Parker. Feeling all right. I'm getting a little tired of hearing you talk about the Oilers when the Jets had a. What happened to the Jets? Did they get knocked out in the first round? I think they did.
Yeah, more than likely. More than likely.
Anyway,
I mean, it happens. But Paul Maurice has promised them a Stanley Cup next year, so I'll take that.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess another thing, I'm getting tired of all the pessimism. We've had enough pessimism as Blue Jays fans this year. That earlier caller. When you got Springer kind of getting off the schneid, he's got 3 homers in his last 3 games here. You got Vladdy going. He's got 2 homers in his last 3 games here. Berrios throws a gem. I know it's a slog. We got 6 games to get back to 500 now. I mean, it's good. It's going to be a battle, but hey, I don't know. Maybe there's signs of life in this team. You never know.
Yeah, thanks for the call. I mean, look, here's the thing. It's I get what I understand why callers. I mean, this is. I made this point today with Ross. The last couple of years, this team has won fewer regular season games, and it hasn't won a postseason game. Like since 2015, 2016, this is no longer about playing meaningful games in September. This is about going to the playoffs, hopefully winning a playoff series, and eventually getting a World Series. And I think a lot of people, Kevin, felt like me. I mean, I looked at the riches this organization had with Bo and Vladdy. I looked at the pitching they had. I looked at how committed ownership was. And I thought, and I'll admit this, I thought we'd be celebrating. I don't know if I thought we'd be celebrating a World Series win while Vladdy and Bo were here, because anything can happen once you get into the playoffs. But I thought there'd be at least an American League title and maybe a trip to the World Series. And I think fans are like that as well. And I guarantee you this: I don't think at any point anybody thought that that this team would be 6 games under 500. At this point of the year, even with the offseason the Jays had. You couldn't find anybody. You look at and I'm not just including us, you look at the national media in the United States, a number of people had thought the Jays were going to be a contender. So I get why. I completely understand why fans are feeling the way they feel, but you are right. 9-2 win over the Yankees is nothing to sneeze at. And we've seen the past couple of games that the Blue Jays won games the way they're designed to win games. And I think maybe you got to take something from that. But having said that, absolutely the fans have a right to be frustrated and not exactly brimming with confidence right now.
Yeah, I ain't taking up for Ross in the front office, but I think you can see with what's happened the last couple of days with the way Vladdy's starting to look, and baby George Springer is, going to do a little something this year, that you could close your eyes and go, man, the way you pitch, the way you play outfield defense, most of the time you don't beat yourself on the bases. What if your stars were your stars for some quite bit of a time, which is sort of what I think the front office was banking on. And, I don't think they banked on a collapse of the Kirks and the, Bo Bichette's getting off to the start and the George Springers, obviously. And again, I think fans maybe are tired of always looking at the bad part of these teams. And it's fun watching dudes go back leg city. It just is, Jeff. Yeah, and the more they do it, the more you want to watch them do it.
That is the other point, You got to remember what people got used to in 2015 and 2016. They got used to a lot of home runs. They got used to a team that played with real swagger. They got used to a team that had a home field advantage.
Bullies,
exactly. And they just, the past couple of years, they've been sold run prevention. And run prevention is boring. It's not entertaining. And I understand that the way the game has gone right now, in general, offense is down. I get all that. But, the Jays, as much as offense is down, the Jays' offense is down even more relative to what we're seeing in the rest of the game. And, it's, again, 2015, 2016 created a whole new generation of fans, brought a whole bunch of people back to the ballpark. And, once you get them back, you got to keep them here. And the ballpark's great. The renovations are wonderful. But you also, you got fans back in here because they had exciting winning baseball with players that they could relate to. And right now, you don't get the same vibe at the ballpark. You really don't. Gil in Toronto, you're in Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, guys. Happy win night.
Yeah, happy win night for sure. Let's make it 2 in a row at least.
Yeah, or 2.5. I mean, there was a hot shower day there in Boston, which I just came back from. I was there for the 3 games, or 2.5. You know what? I noticed in the second game, I was sitting pretty close behind home plate and saw Vladdy hit that monster home run over the Green Monster. And
that's something, isn't it?
It was insane. I've never been to Fenway, and seeing that it looked like an old baseball painting, the way he just sort of stared at it and walked slowly. And, of course, that was a heartbreaker of a game.
But you know what's amazing? I'm just going to jump in that because I want to tell people something. You probably, there is something about, because the press box seats at Fenway are great. They're high up. And I was trying to explain to someone the other day, it's a one ballpark. You can see a ball disappear. Like that, there's still something about that. When you watch that ball leave the stadium and you think about it, the ball disappeared. That doesn't happen in a lot of places.
No, it was incredible, and it was everything I hoped for. But the main thing was, obviously, that game turned out to be a heartbreaker. The next game was incredible. I lost my voice a bit from screaming, and that's the point I'm getting to based on what you guys were just saying and the previous caller. Just give me something to cheer for. Like, I will scream until I lose my voice. I just want to have a good time. I want an entertaining product. And I want to give you guys kudos for the interview today with Ross, because I think diplomatically but aggressively you came at him with the questions a lot of fans have. I do think that he kind of speaks around some questions. I feel like I walk away feeling a little at ease, but still no new information. But that's from him. But I really appreciated the way you guys came at it. And just my only question is based on what he said. Do you think it seems to me like they're not really going to be signing either Vladdy or Bo long term? Like it was, I mean, you asked him that directly, and he sort of skirted the issue to the point where he got to free agency in his answer. So anyway, I'm going to hang up, but that was what I wanted to know. And thanks, guys.
Thanks, Gil. I appreciate the kind words. I mean, look, I think Ross. No general manager is going to come out and say, okay, Jeff, Kevin, here's what I'm going to do. 1, I'm going to trade Bo to the Dodgers for, blah, 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 blah. 2, I'm going to try to sign Vladdy. 3, I'm going to try. I mean, they're not going to come out and give you all their details, nor should they, frankly. All you can do is ask the questions you think fans want asked and be respectful. And, as I said on the show, and Kevin, I think you feel the same way. Look, I mean, I'm not a journalist. I gave up being a journalist when I left newspapers. I'm a talk show host. And I think part of my job is to ask the questions that I think fans want to hear answered. I'm not going to come on and say, hey, Ross, I think you should be fired. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to ask him questions. And I think that's what we both did, and I appreciate the I appreciate the comments, Gil, and yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I don't need Ross Atkins to tell me that the chances of Bo and Vladdy signing here are slim. We've been saying it for years. Yeah, for a couple of years.
Jeff, what if Vladdy turns it around and has a monster rest of the season?
I mean, listen, this is why I've been saying for a couple of weeks, I don't care if they don't trade either of them this year. I don't care if that means that by hanging on to Bo and Vladdy and then addressing it in the offseason, I'm not going to get as much in return as I'm going to get otherwise. I'm not ready to make that leap right now. And I'll tell you this, if Vladdy keeps this going, and I don't think Vladdy's going to sign here. I think that train left the station a couple of years ago. But if he keeps this going, you have to have a talk with him, because you know what? If you close your eyes and imagine this team without Bo, without Vladdy, without Romano, without Jansen, without Garcia, without Kikuchi, I mean, you got to put a team in the field next year, and you got nothing in the minors that's going to help you. I mean, let's face it, you don't. I mean, folks, you can't back up the truck. So yeah, I'm hoping that they take a shot at signing at least one of these guys. I really do. Speaking of that, Kevin, I just want to go. John Schneider was asked about a tweet from Hazel May earlier today, where she asked Bo about whether or not he would be surprised if he was traded with the trade deadline coming up, and Bo said no, that he would not be surprised. This was John Schneider when asked about that.
My reaction is that every single guy in the clubhouse is focused on turning this around and trying to win every single day. Other than that, I don't have much reaction to it. It's, we've kind of gotten ourselves into this spot, so our focus every day is to come out and win. We're going to do it again tomorrow.
That's
it's a big league answer. I think that's what
it is a big league answer. It's absolutely a big league answer.
Yeah.
It's the way I would expect a major league manager to answer the question. Does that mean that Bo is checked out? I don't want people to, because there are people out there who will make that leap. I don't think that's the case at all. You've talked to Bo. Caleb's talked to Bo a lot. I've talked to him less than you guys. I think I have a pretty good handle on the guy. I mean, one of the reasons I really, really like Bo Bichette is he can be brutally honest with you. He can be absolutely honest with you. And he's not going to look you in the eye and lie. So he was asked a question. He gave an honest answer. And that doesn't, as I said, that doesn't mean he's checked out. That doesn't mean he's asked for a trade. It may not even mean that he wants a trade. But he gave an honest answer to an honest question. And
you got to admit, though, there's a reason why he said that. Like,
because he's being honest. Of
there's something, there's something going on, right? It's either relationships or, not happy or whatever it is.
No, I mean, I think what's going on is he can read the internet, and he's seen reports that the Dodgers were interested in him. I don't think it's anything necessarily beyond that. I think the guy's got to figure it out. He signed a 3-year contract with this team, and there's been no movement towards a multi-year deal. And I've made this point often. You've got that 3 years. That's your building block for a multi-year contract. You know what Bo and his agents think he's worth for the next 2 years. You got it in paper. You're paying him. All right. If we agree that you're worth this in 2025, what are you worth in 2026, 2027, 2028? If you want to get a guy signed, it's not hard to build off that. It really isn't. Anyhow, the Jays won 9-2.
Love it.
They play again tomorrow.
Homers.
Marcus Stroman, Yusei Kikuchi.
Yeah.
Stroh's going to be ready.
Yeah, don't stop looking for the hater. Continue to look for the hater. That's it. Simple.
9-2, the Blue Jays have beaten the New York Yankees, first of a 4-game series. 7:07 is the first pitch tomorrow night. We got to run. Thanks for joining us on Blue Jays Talk. As always, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Collingwood and Orangeville. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com. Canada's #1 rust protection.
This has been Major League Baseball play-by-play on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game. It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet. Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather. A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
The way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
He struck it out looking. It's over. It's over. The Rangers have won the World Series.
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise. Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio. SiriusXM 89 and the SiriusXM app.
He's on internet, 8:58. 7:45 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals take on the Cincinnati Reds. Cardinals on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 865. Reds on Internet 846. 8:10 p.m. Kansas City Royals take on the Cleveland Guardians. Royals on Sirius 139, XM 183 and Internet 851. Guardians on Internet 847. 9:38 p.m. LA Angels take on the Detroit Tigers. Angels on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 852. Tigers on Internet 849. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
Mad Dog Sports Radio has the best sports talk in the business, covering sports with a passion and knowledge you need. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 86, and the SXM app.
After overcoming a lifetime of adversity, Willie Mays became one of the game's best, and at 93 years old, he passed on. Steve Phillips from MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM Channel 89 took some time to remember the Say Hey Kid.
Willie Mays, born in Westfield, Alabama, right near Birmingham, grew up in the Birmingham area. He played on the factory league teams and semi-pro clubs with his dad. Because his high school team did not have a baseball team. He went to Fairfield Industrial High School. He went to a factory high school, and he played football and basketball for them, but we didn't have baseball, so he'd play on the semi-pro teams with his father. And at 16 was playing, some professional baseball. He would play on the weekends, and then during the week go to school. Like, it really is an amazing story for him coming out of that area in Birmingham and what he did to turn himself into one of the best players in the game, and with zero bitterness. And, he was just the 10th black player in Major League Baseball. When I heard that, I knew that he signed in the early 50s. I didn't realize that he was that early on in the integration of the Negro League players getting into baseball. Right. And he was a young man at the time where he hadn't been in the Negro Leagues that long. So, you sort of look at him thinking the longevity and the length of his career was in Major League Baseball.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. Sirius XM, Channel 89.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the Copa America, 6 p.m., Panama takes on United States on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 83. 9 p.m., Uruguay faces Bolivia on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 83. In Major League Baseball, 3:40 p.m., Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Minnesota Twins. Diamondbacks on Sirius 208 XM 175 at Internet 840. Twins on Internet 856. 3:45 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the Chicago Cubs. Giants on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 863. Cubs on Internet 844. 4:10 p.m., Chicago White Sox face the Atlanta Braves. White Sox on Sirius 210, XM 177 and Internet 845. Braves on Internet 841. 6:20 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. Phillies on Sirius 211, XM 178 and Internet 860. Marlins on Internet 854. 6:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles face the Texas Rangers. Orioles on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 842. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 870. 7:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays face the New York Yankees. Blue Jays on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 868. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:45 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals take on the Cincinnati Reds. Cardinals on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 865. Reds on Internet 846. 8:10 p.m., Kansas City Royals take on the Cleveland Guardians. Royals on Sirius 139, XM 183 and Internet 851. Guardians on Internet 847. 9:38 p.m., LA Angels take on the Detroit Tigers. Angels on Sirius and XM Channels 89, Internet 852. Tigers on Internet 849. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the Copa America, 6 p.m., Panama takes on United States on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 83. 9 p.m., Uruguay faces Bolivia on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 83. In Major League Baseball, 3:40 p.m., Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Minnesota Twins. Diamondbacks on Sirius 208 XM 175 at Internet 840. Twins on Internet 856. 3:45 p.m., San Francisco Giants take on the Chicago Cubs. Giants on Sirius 209 XM 176 and Internet 863. Cubs on Internet 844. 4:10 p.m., Chicago White Sox face the Atlanta Braves. White Sox on Sirius 210 XM 177 and Internet 845. Braves on Internet 841. 6:20 p.m., Philadelphia Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. Phillies on Sirius 211 XM 178 and Internet 860. Marlins on Internet 854. 6:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles face the Texas Rangers. Orioles on Sirius 106, XM 179 and Internet 842. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Sirius 119, XM 180 and Internet 870. 7:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays face the New York Yankees. Blue Jays on Sirius 137, XM 181 and Internet 868. Yankees on Internet 858. 7:45 p.m., St. Louis Cardinals take on the Cincinnati Reds. Cardinals on Sirius 138, XM 182 and Internet 865. Reds on Internet 846. 8:10 p.m., Kansas City Royals take on the Cleveland Guardians. Royals on Sirius 139, XM 183 and Internet 851. Guardians on Internet 847. 9:38 p.m., LA Angels take on the Detroit Tigers. Angels on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 852. Tigers on Internet 849. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
Former teammate of Willie Mays, Hal Lanier, stopped by MLB Network Radio to honor the Say Hey Kids impact that was left both on and off the field for generations to come.
Well, Willie tried to help everybody. When I came up in '64, he took me under his wings, and I was probably a little bit more different from most players, but again, he helped all the young players that ever came up. You're talking Bobby Bonds, you're talking Kenny Henderson, so many, players that played with Willie also in the area that I was there. It was a tough time for Willie on the road, I think, because he wasn't like the rest of us that go out for dinner and not be bothered, not be recognized. If Willie always had to stay in his suite a lot, most times in every city that he went to, maybe exception of New York. He had some friends that he, went for dinner with and everything. But again, I spent so much time with Willie on the road in his suite, having dinner, just talking after a game, because he couldn't go out like the rest of us. And that's one thing that I felt, sorry for Willie, because he couldn't do that. The only other guy that I saw that couldn't do that was Yogi Berra also. Willie treated everyone fairly.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Thursday, June the 27th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.